What is up, everyone? Welcome to the 2021 Overwatch League Grand Finals. I'm Sun Dude, gonna be here for some commentary. Joining me later will be SeriousDestroyer and Armug, hopefully. I think they're both still waking up, or at least still asleep. I know Serious probably getting some breakfast or something. Hopefully they'll hop around sometime soon. And yeah, we'll get right up and started soon.
How was the
Okay.
first impression of the push? Oh my god, like
Lurk, you there?
a lot of
Yes, I am here.
A lot of
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, just non-stop battles, and we're gonna see some of it later during the halftime show. I think you guys are gonna see us play, but we just kept going at it.
Space is now here to talk about Overwatch 2.
Just super exciting and a lot of energy.
Yo, where's the other tank?
I've been advocating to get rid of it this whole time.
Reinforce.
I want to add a little bit here. So, do you think it's
True.
more in line with what you play?
Yeah, where's the other tank on Space team?
Muse.
Just meeting each other in the middle.
No
and less
tank.
of the team fight,
Why is there only one tank? Don't tell me.
Yeah, definitely felt like for me,
Okay.
honestly, it felt like Call of Duty. Like we were just going at it, respawn after respawn, battling, just non-stop fighting.
They're Rome. They're playing
It's gonna be
Rome.
super exciting to see people play in the league.
They're playing Rome.
You're gonna see these DPS players and these tank players really shine.
Yo,
and
look at those
a lot of
Overwatch
action
2
non-stop.
graphics.
I'm excited as well.
Wait, what map is that? That's in
Rome.
Rome, yeah?
A lot more open maps. Like you look at Rome, it's very open.
I need a
Does that change?
Okay.
I think once you see.
Can't they hear the comms from the enemy team?
We'll see how the flow changes because.
I'm assuming the headphones are at least a little bit noise cancelling
Lucio was
or isolating.
because it was harder to charge.
What if they decide to take off their headphones to Negan?
Then they won't have their own team's audio, and they won't have the 360 with spatial audio.
True.
I'm a tank player myself.
Congrats, by the way. Yeah.
I've never heard
Is that in person?
Congratulations, yeah. How does it feel to play tank in Overwatch 2?
Off tank.
5, and as you said, it's a lot more faster paced. Do you feel like, as a main tank, I don't know how much main tank you played, do you feel like as a main tank you have time?
1 second, let me take out my headphones.
Way more fast paced, playing Zarya like damage and skirmishing.
Okay, so I would definitely take what I'm about to say with a little grain of salt. Because as I said, it's still super early beta what we played, and a lot of the tanks weren't actually reworked yet. There were some that weren't actually in that we could completely play, but you'll see what we played coming up in halftime. But I felt like a lot of people are worried about the off-tank roles, the main tank roles. They don't know which direction it'll go. I personally think all the tanks will be good, and I know that the devs will work out to make all of them self-sustainable. So it's going to be different to see all of them play, For me, it felt like every character was a
Okay,
the tank
not
role
bad.
felt like
That's awesome.
a tankier DPS, and
It's just an obvious thing we would have expected from Overwatch 2.
Finally, my Reinhardt plays now. It's working out.
Yeah,
It's all
okay.
fighting,
It's in, let's
torsioning.
go.
Yeah.
Do we need to
And drift.
come up with a new term? Because we can't say MTD
Tank.
anymore. What do we call it?
Here for a second.
Team gap.
I don't like
Yeah,
it.
guys. Yeah, I don't know.
Help us
TD.
out, Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter, help us out.
Yeah, we have a lot of time to bring
Tank
them,
gap,
right?
tank
So-
gap.
so keep them coming. Now,
TG?
Yeah, Space.
TD.
I want to know for people who obviously haven't played the game yet, what are the few things which really stood out to you? What should people be really excited about?
Ooh, for me, a lot of the new stuff was just like the graphic design.
These sounds as well. Okay, I gotta turn on the sound then.
Some of the reworks are insane, like just the way the characters look and feel. It felt really smooth, the game in general. But I think the maps is gonna be, something new.
Okay, Ryan.
But-
Bashed it, let's go!
Because that is just an
Wait.
amazing replacement for casual players and ranked players. It's gonna be a good experience.
Do you notice anything
I'm
different?
curious on how you felt about Ultimate
Wait, Sombra.
in the game as well. Because
Okay, Sombra still hacks.
Because there's one less person in the game, less healing, less damage overall. Do you feel like
The
Ultimate
fuck, how's that a rework?
has an impact in the game?
Well, no. There's gonna be other reworks.
On push, it felt like
How's that rework? It's just hacked.
much, like you said.
There's going to be other reworks, bro.
Yeah, I know.
We'll see the ult charges coming up, and we'll see how each ult impacts every fight. But
Oh, and they
Yes,
put
yes.
the tank in the middle of the
maybe
team instead of at
each
the
pick
front.
you get might change the fight
Oh, no, they always did that in Overwatch
We are
early.
seeing some of the space main tank gameplay going
Oh, but it's just weird. I guess it's just weird to see. There's just a single tank hit between the two DPS and supports. That's cool.
Playing that tank role, if you have to flex over to the Reinhardt.
Oh, lower shield? Is that lower shield?
So, you of course played
Yeah,
it's
it's
always
800
100.
else.
big
Yeah.
changes. You have 2 fire strikes now instead of 1. You can charge a bit more, drift with that speed. How did that feel like to play?
Like I said, the DPS.
Oh, Xayah has multiple charges of bubble.
Trying to
Yeah, I already knew that.
Playing against the new Sombra.
Ah, fuck, Emaladi feels so. Oh shit, it's
Yeah,
late!
you'll find out soon. But that character is very, very different. So, you know, I was just enjoying it, trying my hardest.
They're
Trying.
different. Okay.
Yeah, they're different.
Yeah.
Oh, Danny, you.
Look at Danny's hand.
You'll see.
You're gonna love these changes.
You guys are gonna see.
I'm
Exactly.
so curious. I just want to ask so many questions. but-
Well, you will get an opportunity today, in fact. You don't
Yeah.
have to put it off that much longer. Now, who looked the best in the show match?
In the show match?
Were there a few individuals which really stood out where you were like, ooh?
Besides myself.
Oh, besides yourself.
Besides myself, I would say it's gonna be the DPS players for sure.
Oh,
we
really?
had some Decay Widow. It was nasty. I'm worried about playing against some of these guys at solo tank. You know, for me when I came up against the Sombra, I said if I have to play against Lip at solo tank, you know, just sub me out. You know what I mean? Like these guys are gonna be different on the DPS, so I think that the game is gonna be crazy for DPS players, and that's what you have to look out for in Overwatch 2 for sure.
Yeah, we're super excited to see that show match in our halftime, to see that fast pace, and I just want to see you guys going at it. Now, we do have to wait a little longer for that, but one last thing here, Space. It's all good and well, but who's going to hoist the trophy at the end of the
Dallasville.
2021 season? Give us your take.
Okay, so for me, I'm actually thinking, I know a lot of people probably don't expect this one, but I'm thinking Atlanta Reign.
Oh, okay. All right.
And hear me out for this one. So my reasoning is I think that Atlanta's playstyle is very different from many other teams that Shanghai's played against. I think the pressure is on Shanghai. The mental battle, it's going to be, you know, everyone expects them to win. Everyone expects them to get the chip. So they're feeling good. They're feeling confident. And I think we'll see how Shanghai has to match up against that.
You're not just saying that because you lost to him, right? I'm starting to think that might be a little bit of bias coming over here, man.
No, I truly.
Did you see that tweet yesterday where some girl was like, so she tagged McGravy. He literally nutted in me and went to watch Overwatch League.
4-3. I think both teams are gonna fight hard.
Yeah,
They're both gonna adjust
okay.
a lot throughout the match, but it's gonna be a definite.
And then
Pretty cool.
McGravy.
I didn't see the tweet, unfortunately.
Sorry, what?
I didn't see that tweet, unfortunately.
Yeah. You can go look at it. He's like, yeah, no way. He nutted in me, immediately went to watch Al. Then McGravy retweeted that saying hashtag let it rain.
Let it rain, let it rain. Are they actually outside or is that a green screen?
I have no clue. No, they're actually on site. This is Hawaii, mate.
They're actually touching grass. Oh shit.
All the coaches, all the players are ready to go up against Atlanta next year.
I love doing this.
The players have been going off for 3 or 4 days and you don't notice?
Hmm.
A shared enemy makes for really good
4 or 5
strong
days.
friendships. I'll tell you that. I know from experience.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
The
for
fifth-
joining
this is the
us here,
5th day.
Space. Thanks for sharing your input, and we can't wait to see you on the server playing some Overwatch 2 for us. Now, you don't forget that we're going to have that very first look of Space and other Owl Pros on Overwatch 2 during our halftime of today's
There we go,
grand
lead hero
finals.
designer
But
coming up.
Do not go anywhere, because after the
Jeff Goodman, okay.
Jeff Goodman,
Baldman's
the
here.
Overwatch team joins the show for an exclusive first look at the reworks
Wait,
for Sombra,
okay.
as well as Bastion. See, Danny, don't have to wait that long. But first, we have a very special
Treat? Doggy
for you
food?
right now, because here is a sneak peek at the new looks for everyone's favorite robot with a chain gun and a hat. It's Bastion.
Oh, I thought it was Zenyatta with the chain gun.
Zenyatta does not have a gun.
No, for his new out, he wields a chain gun.
In the Overwatch comic binary, we learned that Bastion and Torbjorn have now become friends. And we all know that Torbjorn just can't resist giving his friend some upgrades. This ties in well with our philosophy for the new looks, which is to make our heroes feel techier and sleeker.
Clean design.
With Bastion, it's a little tricky at first, because if you think of Bastion, he almost feels like a very rickety old
You
truck
saw?
in the way he moves and the way he looks. We
Oh, I like that new look.
While preserving some of that rustic flavor in his animations. You'll notice that tech upgrades weren't the only thing that Bastion got.
Aiden, can you pause for like 2 seconds, please?
Hats. When we first added Ganymede to Bastion's kit, it was to make him feel more approachable and more relatable. The hat does something very similar, while playing off his newfound friendship with Torbjorn.
Very cool.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Xfinity.
Alright. Breaking out some cool stuff.
Oh, they got the cap!
I love the idea.
This is your deck 2.0. That's what you can expect from next season.
I love
We're gonna
that.
wear hats at all times. But no, jokes aside, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Please give a warm welcome to Overwatch lead hero designer Jeff Goodman. Jeff, how are you doing?
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks.
We're doing great. Do you like our rework?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Big
it.
fan of the hats over
It's
here.
great. You don't even need them. It doesn't even look that sunny
what we
out there
thought.
anymore.
It really doesn't. It's still warm though. It's still warm. You wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it.
I'm just in my room
Don't come
here.
out here.
I'm jealous.
Now, Jeff, let's start with a really easy question for you. What's the release date? No, I had to shoot my shot though. I had to shoot my shot. But seriously, what can you tell us about how the game is coming along so far?
Oh, it's coming along great. I mean, we're doing just constant play tests all the time and finding new things we want to try, and a lot of things that aren't working, a lot of things that are working, sort of surprising us. So I think we're sort of in this world now where we're still sort of experimenting with a lot of big things, like, you know, just as an experiment. We're gonna
Well,
try
what?
Doomfist as a
Wait.
like that. I don't know if that'll work.
Doomfist as a
It won't work,
tank.
but, you know,
Why
we're
not?
just
I like the
trying
sound of
stuff.
that.
The fuck? The
That's gonna have to be a major rework.
All right, Jeff. Why don't we let's just give the people what they want. I think
Making
the first thing that
space?
we'll be looking at is the new Sombra rework. Anything you want to say to set this up?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of this is, we've talked about this a little bit before, but we have this sort of goal we're going for right now to try to sort of reduce crowd control effects throughout the game, and the way we're sort of targeting that is kind of leaving it on tanks. It's kind of like a big thing that they get to do, and it's like their big role, among other things they do, of course. But so what it really comes down to is we're looking at all the non-tanks and figuring out, what kind of crowd control is really necessary. What do we think we can get away with? What feels kind of fair and what feels kind of unfair? I know that's a little hand wavy, but everyone has their own opinion on that, I'm sure. But so for right now, for example, Ana still has her sleep dart. We kind of feel like that's pretty fair. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out that people don't like that. I don't know. I think most people think it's pretty cool. But as part of these changes,
Don't touch my
Sombra.
Don't touch my hand.
But as part of these changes, Sombra is definitely, a big target because it's like she's all about crowd control in some sense. So that's where a lot of this rework comes from. So the first thing is
I didn't mean
just,
crowd
like,
control.
how to
More like you're unable to play the game.
sort of disabling effects while still keeping it really strong. So I think that's a decent lead, and I think it kind of explains.
Ooh. So
Well, we
excited.
like
All
the
right.
sound
So
of that. Let's just dive straight in and take a look at the Sombra rework.
Yes, please.
May contain content inappropriate for children. Didn't you look, Pog?
For Sombra's rework, we have some really important changes that can dramatically affect the way she's played.
Daddy Aaron, let's go.
We're reducing her CC
Sorry, can you
abilities
pause another like
with
1
larger
second?
changes to Overwatch 2 and giving her more potential damage.
Okay.
Let's start with changes to her hack ability. First, we significantly reduced the cooldown. Secondly,
Reduce cooldown?
her hack now lasts 8 seconds, but now has 2 components to it. The first component of the ability works exactly like it does in Overwatch 1, disabling abilities. However, that effect now is reduced to 1 second. The second component of hack is a brand new effect that reveals hack targets to Sombra and her team through walls, and it lasts the entire duration of the hack. In addition to that, her passive has gained the ability to do 50% more damage to hacked targets. For her ultimate ability, we tweaked it so it no longer removes all shields, but instead, it now just deals damage to enemies equal to 40% of their current health. Combined with her new passive effect, this gives her even more finishing potential.
Lastly,
Actually
an
becoming a
update that really
DPS.
leans into her
Interesting.
character is that you can now hack while being in stealth mode.
What?
You are briefly revealed.
Okay.
No longer
Ooh.
remove stealth completely.
Yeah, that's kind of OP.
Ooh.
The fuck?
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Wow. Big fan.
So it hacks
okay.
abilities for 1 second, right? That's what they said. Hacks abilities for 1 second and then just reveals them behind walls for the rest.
I mean, I'm a main tank player, you know, straight off the bat. Everyone knows this.
That looks so fun though.
EMP
And
hacks
plus
is a big
40%
part of
damage
Overwatch
buff.
life.
And
Now,
EMP does not
we don't
delete shields,
discuss anymore,
did they say?
so, I mean, you mentioned it going into the video, of course. You've been taking an approach, talking
I'm not
about
sure, actually.
crowd
That wasn't-
control
And take some of the health away.
Yeah, it takes 40% of your total health away.
What was your thinking when it came to hacks from Sombra? How did you approach this ability, and what did you decide to change it?
Yeah, so it was pretty tricky because
They lower hack cooldown there. That's my
tied
main
to the
concern.
Control effect. So we wanted to.
But
we didn't wanna
then
take the, hack
the
away
way
from
hack
us.
works is
That
different.
makes sense. So we wanted to still be core to how she works and how she plays. So
Hack is definitely more beneficial to Sombra herself rather than the entire team.
Quite as brutal as just locking somebody out of their abilities for so long. We actually tried a version for a while where you just couldn't disable abilities at all. But there's some cool moments where you get to sort of counter like a fair ult like you see in the video or something if you're there at the right time.
This makes her more like a brawler. She wants to stay in the fight more,
much shorter than usual.
rather
So
than
it's
just
almost more of
like
an interrupt than
go
actually,
and hack,
setting somebody up.
get out,
a long duration.
go and hack, get out.
We let the hack last a little longer, and then most importantly, she gets to do a ton more damage when she against hack targets. So it's really this play when you're playing against her where she can hack while she's stealth. So your backline starts to get hacked. It's almost like a
Fitzy actually got a lot of things
like I'm about
correct.
to come at this person. It's like a warning
Like
to everybody.
dealing more damage to hacked
it's almost like
enemies
an
or
for her in a way.
doing more damage to people
where,
below
she
50%
has to essentially
HP.
call her
Like that was
targets
something
before she
he
gets to do
said
real,
could be a
damage to
thing.
them. So, but on the
Actually
flip
came
side,
through.
she gets to do way more damage and shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big
I
fan.
like that,
think
I like
It's
that.
a really good place for Sombra in Overwatch, and I like these changes. As
I'm
well.
more likely gonna
The
use
ability to
Translocate as like a
target
movement tool rather than
essentially
like
and
a
then go
second
after
life
the
then.
I think it's a really interesting change.
Yeah, I mean, I think, am I the only one that's super excited for the, I just want to...
I'm always on the receiving end. I don't play Sombra, so I'm like obviously less excited for what I see.
Now with
but
this new rework,
might change.
maybe we can,
I know.
we can be the Sombra player.
Oh, you want to be the Sombra to my Ryan?
Well, I mean, yeah, Jeff, you talked a little bit. You talked actually a lot about the new rework and everything, but I want you to, I want to ask you a little bit deeper. What direction are you trying to go with Sombra, just as a hero?
Right. So, I mean, I've always liked that she's sort of a little more of a setup hero. Like, obviously, she still requires a decent amount of aim skill, but she's not, the Widow or anything of the group. So I like that she's got this hybrid sort of very situational awareness and timing game going on, but also, obviously being decent at aiming helps a lot with her. So I wanted to keep a lot of that intact, and so I think a lot of what we see here is sort of deepening that in a way because, when we've been playtesting it, for example, there's a lot of like kind of mind gaming things you can do because the hack cooldown's really low now.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said before, when you hack somebody, you're kind of calling him out, like I'm about to open on this guy and do much damage. But like you can hack somebody and then you're still stealth, run to a completely different area, hack somebody else, and the whole team like rotated to help that person, but then you hack somebody else and go after them instead. And like it's so Sombra to be able to just like mess with people like that. It's so great. It's super fun. Plus the EMP just got so much more powerful.
Right.
I really want to eat breakfast now, but I'm not leaving till the Bastion changes coming.
What makes it powerful now is the extra damage increase, and as a support player who's been hacked also a lot in my life, the fear of that damage is going to go up even higher, especially with that EMP. Is that a big like tuning moment of like how much damage can this Sombra really put out? Because she's going more to, as you said, DPS than a crowd control hero, and in this sort of rework.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually really interesting to play with because it doesn't remove shields anymore like it used to. So
doesn't remove shields.
It does less damage to Zarya.
Doesn't remove shields. Yeah, that's
any hero that has a ton of extra shields because it doesn't strip them anymore. So, I mean,
well, yeah.
Do they still yeah, I'm thinking. Do they still disable?
No, they won't be able to insta kill Zen anymore.
Better, especially against tanks. It's 40% of their current health. So. It's different than
but they all go down by 40% HP.
It's their max health. So it
shields as in like shields, not like barriers.
As a big setup move, it does
everything.
Damage and weakens everybody.
Oh.
It's this great sort of
I'm thinking like what's the interaction to immortality field and other deployables?
Probably still probably same as normal, just hacks them.
Well, right, Jeff, Sombra isn't the only hero.
And Minefield as well.
In Overwatch 2, of
I assume
course,
so.
you will be working on basically
Although,
everything. But here on our
they
pre-show,
wouldn't
we're
just go off the
also going to take a
1-second
look at
hack
Bastion's
cooldown,
rework,
right? They
because
wouldn't
there's
just
Yeah, I
have
agree.
that.
So I was like,
I don't
oh,
know.
a pretty
you've hacked immortality field once again. Oh, what does that mean?
TBC.
The tape probably shows pretty much everything, but I will say it was definitely a goal to, much like Sombra, I guess, try to maintain some of that general flavor of sort of being able to sacrifice your mobility for extra damage. But we did want to pull back on it a little bit because it got to the point where it was sort of like impossible to play him as that completely disabling yourself. So that should be good.
What did you talk? Sick.
We'll see indeed. Well, let's dive straight in. Let's roll the tape and see what you guys have done with it.
Okay. Okay, I'm more excited for Bastion and Sombra, honestly. Featherman!
Bastion is getting a big rework for Overwatch 2, and the team is
How big?
really excited about his changes.
Look-wise, we updated and modernized his appearance with the use of sleeker, more
He's
modern
rounder.
materials. We also gave him a hat to help him stand out and to add an extra touch of character.
So going through Bastion's abilities, well, for starters, he no longer has his self-repair button at
Wait.
all. It's just gone.
Okay.
Instead,
No
he
self-repair?
now has a brand new ability that's bound to alternate fire. This ability fires a projectile that can bounce off a wall.
What?
Players.
What the fuck?
Whoa!
Super fun to fire. His recon form weapon has changed significantly as well. It now has no spread at all, but has reduced
Oh,
fire
it's
damage
like-
to compensate. This lets him poke at much longer ranges and play a little more like a pseudo sniper, kind of like his recon.
Oh,
form.
interesting.
Okay.
For his ultimate, we completely changed it up. No
It's a
longer
fucking artillery!
instead goes into a new artillery mode.
You then get to choose
It's a fucking
3
artillery.
points
Let's
to
go.
call down an artillery strike anywhere on
Whoa!
It's a fucking artillery.
Oh my.
Finally, something we think you'll all be excited about. While in Sentry form, Bastion can now move at a
Oh!
reduced movement speed. We've also changed the ability to have a cooldown now. This lets us keep it super strong since you can't use it all the time.
Oh, holy shit.
Oh my
Holy
god.
shit.
Sentry form on him. Okay. Holy shit.
Holy
Bastion
shit.
main is so happy right now. Let me check Twitter. Let me see if Bastion main is screaming.
Those are certainly some changes.
Zach's already coming back to
I have a lot of
Overwatch.
questions, but I feel like
Oh!
I need some time to process this. You want to take over Reinforce?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of questions.
Holy shit.
Questions, very good ones, of course, because that was amazing. Reworking Bastion, of course, from more of a specialist.
He can't do everything now.
He has more mobility, as you mentioned. What was the problems you were trying to fix with Bastion, making these?
So he can't move during assault, right?
Yeah, so with Bastion,
Yeah.
he's
He can't move. He can't really move during assault.
And the game was a lot different back then, of course. And we tried to tune sort of this huge disadvantage with just not being able to move, with just like, how do we give him enough firepower to make that worth it? And I don't know if there's some magic tuning point, but I'm sure we definitely tried a lot of numbers to work there. But it really comes down to the fact that, like, being unable to move in a game like Overwatch, and you have heroes that have.
Brig would like to
ability
talk
and
to
so
you
much
about the
burst
unable
range,
to move.
It's kind of just unrealistic to try to like tune that in such a way that makes any sense. So when we first, kind of went to the drawing board on him again, it was like, let's look at the sort of elephant in the room here, and like, does he really need to be completely immobile to have this sort of effect? So that's sort of where we start experimenting right away with like, maybe he can move somewhat, even just be able to
It's
move
up.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So he can, like,
Okay, this
go through
guy
cover and
definitely
stuff.
has more
Huge difference.
versatility now.
So he's at 50% move speed right now. I mean, all these numbers,
Okay,
are
50%
going on
move
right
speed.
now are subject to change, of course. We're
Interesting.
doing a lot of testing and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah.
for sure.
I love the look of it.
At that right click though, that looks so fun.
Comedic, deadly choo-choo
Yeah.
coming at this like choo-choo.
Bastion main just said Bastion ult equals 3 Doom ults.
Wait, it doesn't position itself in danger as well.
Yeah.
It's better than Doom ults.
Recollect my thoughts. I do need to know though, how much damage does that artillery actually do? And
Oh.
even more importantly,
Until that here.
Right. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting ability because it's almost a little bit like Doomfist ult, where you get to
Yeah, there you go. He already mentioned it.
targeting area to drop, well, in this case, artillery shells. But it worked kind of like Doomfist for targeting purposes. But you get to shoot 3 of them, and the actual projectile coming down from above is a projectile like any other, so it can be.
Oh, the Overwatch Twitter just tweeted the
it can
Bastion.
be, you know, all these things. So
What?
you can look up and block it with Reinhardt.
I
Shield if
love
you're really
that.
You have to look up as Reinhardt.
It's possible for it to
Wow.
hit a flying Pharah if she's really unlucky.
Oh, it can hit a flying target.
My mind.
Because it's
is
just a
going
projectile.
Imagine like sniping a Pharaoh or a god of the.
That is a clip. That has that.
I'm thinking how does deflect work with the Bastion
Grab
out.
them.
Oh,
Grab. It always comes back to the grab.
yeah.
Everything just goes well with the grab. It's like
Answer to everything.
yeah, it's like black clothing. It's like, oh, that works.
All right. I have. This might not be a smart question, but I really wanted to ask this. So my
No dumb
favorite mode,
questions, Danny.
yeah, for Bastion rework was the Sentry mode. I find that very cute
Yeah.
as well.
Also,
and I
just
think
like
I'm gonna
3
enjoy it.
do modes into a
How
grab.
long do you stay in that form? Is there a time limit, or
You
can
basically
just roll
you
around
can position the shove like behind your wall or behind cover and then just do that.
forever?
Yeah.
So it has a
If you
cooldown
wanted
now,
to.
which is pretty different. I mean, before it was
Oh.
part
I
of
think
this
he
sort of
plays more of a
approach
sniper,
more
a mid-range character.
But it got to the point where we
Yeah.
really wanted to keep a lot of the power in this thing, even though he can move. We wanted it to be very, very powerful. And when you see him come around the corner, you'd be really scared of it, and maybe have to back up or give him some space or something. So in order to really get that sort of power level, we decided to put a cooldown on it.
also
Now,
just-
So he can't heal
do it
himself
all the
first.
time, but
Yeah.
the uptime on it's pretty high. So
Training
More
definitely
sustained for
a lot of
damage, I
up,
guess.
It
Yeah.
allows us to like. Make the
Do you think he can rocket jump with his own bouncy projectile thing?
No, I don't think so, because it bounces bounces through walls. Definitely, you can rocket jump.
Yeah, because my thing is like,
Just to answer your
I guess
question,
some Bastion mains are gonna be like angry that they can't rocket jump with his ult anymore.
The impact,
But then what can you
actual
do with the
shot
right
coming
click?
down from the sky actually does impact damage.
I guess it kind of works as like the
Rockets,
Sigma balls.
bombs, stuff like that. The impact does 300 right now.
Like you still can.
Impact does 300
So
damage.
direct hit is 600 if you happen to
Direct
get
hit is 600 damage.
It's really nasty.
No way.
It's pretty unlikely to get hit directly, and then it does a bunch of fall off from the
Right,
impact out, too.
because it's hard to
600
get,
damage.
but it's hard to get a direct hit when you have the indicator on the ground and everyone can see it.
I have a problem dodging wrecking ball mines. I now have another thing that I have.
No, I'm just gonna go and deflect it, my dude.
There are 3 Doomfist ultimates.
Deflect it to the entire team. Ah,
When you
yes.
said you were changing Doomfist, I didn't expect that I'd have to deal with another person like that. So I am interested though, because the first thing I thought of when I saw it rolling around, I was like, they just wanted to bring pirate ship back, but make it so he can do it himself. He's his own little pirate ship now, just like
I don't need
rolling
no
around.
ship.
Yeah, I don't need a shield with me. I can do it all myself. So my question with that is like, what is the most interesting thing that you've seen with this kit change? Because there's a lot. There's the mine, there's the rolling around in Sentry, the artillery. What's your favorite thing?
Oh man, there's a lot to sort of comment on here. So it's I really love.
I guess that animation cancel would you would instantly right click plus transform at the same
I
time.
a lot of kind of mind games with that too, because typically when you first play, you're probably just gonna carpet bomb an area. Bang, bang, bang.
What's his E again?
Gives people less reaction time.
E.
But also what you can do is
Yeah.
drop them like right on top of everybody, and then drop.
He doesn't
them
have
His
one,
shift,
does he?
his,
to go, and then
his shift is transform, man. What's
Yeah,
his
he
E?
doesn't have one,
and then
does he?
drop it. Like you can just really mess with people and hire.
He doesn't have an E.
Sit there for a little while.
I'm afraid.
And
Oh my
it's
God.
super
I'm
fun
afraid.
just to mess with people. I mean, you have to be a little weird because you're sitting there,
Huh.
much like Junkrat is when he does his ultimate. You're
Okay.
sitting there, vulnerable somewhere, and hopefully no one's killing you or you're protected or something. So I've
What
definitely
character
caught
doesn't have an E
myself
except for
being in
Bastion?
a silly place, just sitting there for too long trying to mess with people. But it's pretty fun.
The mind games returns.
Yeah.
I do have one last question I would like to ask anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I've asked you this several times. I've had the chance to speak with you, but I can't remember the answer. This time with the rework, have you actually tried Bastion being able to mount like Orisa and why did that not work?
Why in the Lord would anyone want that?
It's amazing. It's like jousting.
Imagine like Bastion mounting like Tracer so you can like
That
shoot.
sounds like an
Oh,
Orisa
no,
or
no,
an
no, no.
Bastion ability to me.
Can
It's teleports
you
behind
even
your back
lift,
line.
Tracer?
Someone up there,
Do you even lift, bro?
right around.
Don't
So
know.
what I'm hearing from that answer, Jeff, is it's not out of question. It's just a Bastion's ability.
Orisa rework.
I fear for the sanity of our animators to try to make that look decent in any way possible. but yeah, maybe.
I appreciate it. I
Maybe
appreciate
not.
it.
Let's not go there. Kudos to you for pushing it, Reinforce.
I'm
you
trying
know.
my best.
Yeah, you
You're
really
doing
do.
great.
You really do. I really appreciate it. I also really appreciate you taking the time here to chat with us, Jeff. We can't wait to see what else you and the team have in store for us. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes,
Sure, no problem. Great to be here. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Okay,
And
okay.
don't forget, everyone, we do have more Overwatch 2 content coming up at halftime for our Owl Pro Push demo. You definitely do not want to miss it. Now, you also don't want to miss the next match. It's not a big deal. Just the Overwatch League 2021 Grand Final.
I'm gonna go get some food. This is CC. I'm gonna
the
meet.
Shanghai Dragons right after this break.
A red team is gonna win.
Yeah, Prophet over there.
I guarantee you, a red team is gonna win.
But try and come up with a solution, try and adjust off of what they've done all season long. You would count that as a huge win for Atlanta. It also kind of tells you where this series could potentially go, where Atlanta definitely sees there's a path to victory with some of these maps and compositions.
The Shanghai Dragons in the Atlanta Arena about to go at it one more time in this game. And again, starting with control, Ilios definitely seems like it feels good for Shanghai. We've seen them play the Brigitte and the Zen composition on this map a fair bit. We know Atlanta love to play around this Reinhardt setup. This will be a matchup, and you mentioned it, Matt, of very different styles.
And
Let's
it'll be
go.
interesting to see if Atlanta pulls out a little bit of a wrinkle early on. They're one of the teams that North America, we actually saw them play a considerable amount of Torbjorn. Teams that would go to like a Reaper right against something like this. Atlanta was a team that would play the Tor. It's just annoying against the Ball, the Tracer, the Sombra, just puts down so much chip damage. So they come out with a Torbjorn and a Cowboy here to start things off.
Wrecking Ball, of course, is going to be in play. The Atlanta Reign want to play a comp that's hostile to any sort of dive, especially to
Lip
this Wrecking
almost
Ball
dies
play.
here.
Lip getting pressure
Oh
down,
no,
Gator
Gator gets
in
out.
his own direction, but
I'll get
Hawk
out of
doesn't stay where
position.
he was. He gives up his mech, but Gator and Pelican strike a mortal blow early.
And Hawk has been one of the best divas in the league of, you know, whether it's a Sombra or whether an Echo in the sky, tracking these players down. And you see right off the rip, as soon as they have an idea where Lip is, don't let him disappear, don't let him translocate, get out, get right in his face and bother him. I think that's going to be something key to look at.
Atlanta believe that their approach here, this anti-dive setup with the Lucio, is the best way to play right now.
Ooh, Fleta.
Hit on Fleta, he had to get topped up.
Sweating
Can he count? Because I think you're a bit behind me.
Yeah, just I think you can just pause for a second.
The Shanghai Dragons encircle the Reign and pull them apart thread by thread.
Yeah, and I think when Atlanta goes in,
Holy shit, these fights are so fast.
the target they're going for right there.
Fast
So
brawl
they see Void, they
or
try and
Wrecking Ball die.
He's able to get out.
They
And
could
as
pick
soon
at
as he
speed.
does, that overextension, right, just spreads Atlanta out a little bit too thin, and that's where the flankers of Tracer and Sombra can come up clutch.
Just let him probably land a big bomb here.
High ground, and he's difficult to interact with if you're Atlanta. And there's a sense of foreboding knowing that surely this man has a payload to deliver. Pile drive here.
Hey, that's a good one.
That's massive.
Oh, and they just couldn't get the Immortality field out.
Loses his turret. That's going to be on cooldown for a little while, and the Dragons are playing ahead. They're
Seconds
forcing
to
the
fall.
Reign back, preventing them from even getting close to touching.
Yes, that's a lot used there for Shanghai. They end up using the Pulse Bomb and the EMP right after that, so if you're Atlanta, you come back, you have the ability to use
Spawn coming that way.
which is probably what they would like to do.
We've seen this on Ilios before from the Dragons. They like to try and play as far forward as possible, make it hard for this very telegraphed Reinhardt composition to get into a good position.
Okay, gonna hack
That
that. Oh shit.
could be in trouble, but it's going to be Master that actually...
That was a good bomb.
Struck the Atlanta Reign. They might be in disarray, but they're still able to snatch up Fate, and Lip has to translocate to stay alive. Izayaki, though, that's nasty stuff. Cowboy and the Baptiste fall to his hand.
And Shanghai has not been bothered enough, or, you know, even put into trouble to the point that they're even thinking about popping the Rally or the Transcendence. They've been able to hold on to these two ultimates for an extended period of time, as Atlanta has had a difficulty closing the gap with this composition.
They have the speed boost, but they keep getting interrupted by this Pulse Bomb
Ooh.
driver combination. This time Iris has the Immortality Field in play, but the Reign have to go. 88% and ticking.
Gator's not having a fun time.
To use this
Oh.
Earth Shadow. His shield down.
Mm.
Shadow clatters harmlessly off one of
Pain.
the pillars, and Hawk is taken down in the backline by Fate. Kai is getting pressured very up close and personal, and an amplification matrix is deployed by Iris.
Oh, they don't
Find the
touch.
kill, but the Reign
Oh, Pelican.
Not a C9.
Cannot touch.
No, C9.
Trap them in
Chat's
the
like
inside
C9.
room, and they're not
Yep.
able to get out, get a touch on the point. So Shanghai will take this first round here on Ilios. I'm interested to see where we go to next. Okay, so Lighthouse, I actually think this is a pretty decent draw here for the Atlanta Reign. So they have the option to change up their composition a little bit here, as looks like Gator potentially hovering over the Wrecking Ball, which is a bit of a new look that we've seen from the Atlanta Reign. It's something they were not playing a ton of coming into the playoffs in the regular season. So the Wrecking Ball would be a new look.
Here's Izzyaki there, that quick double kill. Kai tries to roll away, and Iris is contained inside that defense matrix. All right, off to Lighthouse here, Matt, for the second round. Shanghai
Wrecking Ball with a Moira Lucio.
So Atlanta decides to play this with Lucio and Moira instead of like the Zen or the Brig. And
Wait.
Wait. So that's a bit of a change.
Wait.
And that's gonna
Gator found a smart spot.
Killing Izzyaki there. I mean, that is a great first pick.
They have to trade Hawks.
There has to be like a incredibly small chance of that ever happening.
The Doomfist can stay on there.
So much of this is going to depend on removing someone like Izzyaki from the equation, and even though they
Well, that was obvious, but like, the thing about that one was that he ground pounded onto that.
Shanghai would be coming from. It gives him an opportunity to potentially get Izzyaki.
So he ground pounded onto a pixel perfect spot.
Take him out. He's going to come out of the Shanghai spawn.
It's kind of funny. He's like, what?
The rest of the team, but you're now trying to farm up this coalescence.
He's like, what the hell happened?
Shanghai are the best team at winning fights when they're down by one.
Lipsing ready.
Highest percentage, it's almost 30% after losing an individual at the start of the fight. Marcy going to get burned down this time, so the Dragons start with a short lead, but Kai will respond quickly. Hawk trying to double back to the mega health pack, and Pelican trying to help by hacking it to make it come back faster. It's too late though, and now Void is going to be a problem. Going to get healed up for the time being, and okay, Void almost backed off, but comes in to finish his prey.
Yeah, he's trying to play off of that mega health pack, but not going to work there for Hawk. Is Shanghai has been dominant here early on this point, really after losing Izzyaki.
Whoa, that was...
It has been all Shanghai Dragon.
Kai just got busted down.
Nice shots there on Kai, as he was pretty low going up to the high ground. This will be Atlanta's, one of their best chances.
Why am I craving Nando's?
EMP plus a coalescence to use.
Spicy, first, okay, yeah, technically spicy chicken wings, so.
Pivotal.
Oh.
Pelican needs a good
Did we forget to mention that this episode of, I don't know what this, thing is called? It's sponsored by Nando's. Get your chicken now.
No, we are not actually sponsored by Nando's. Don't go blaming us, Nando's. Harmless jokes, Nando's. Harmless jokes. Master's always so good with the boots.
Yeah, Gator's gonna actually finish off Voids.
I'm making burritos today.
Oh yeah, nice. Why? Okay, now, I've been craving burritos actually as well for like a few days.
So look at all this pressure as Lee Jagan gets right in Maz's face on the Mercy.
This is the Dragons, they just don't know when to quit, but maybe losing Lee Jagan heralds a bit of a lull in the action. Once Lip can get back to safety, of course, and Kai won't let that happen.
I was going to say, it's going to be pretty difficult for him to get out of that position as Lip was
Izyaki's all the way up there.
The coalescence used now, but I know Shanghai just back up.
Interesting decision there from Iris. Again, what's the
Okay, and to go McCree, Sombra. Oh, face of Sombra.
Okay, so for a second there, I thought we were going to see a change
where McCree?
Fleta was on the McCree for a second.
Because they want Lip on the Sombra.
They're keeping the Mercy though. So
I think it's just because you have Valk at this moment.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
That one, Kai's forced to recall.
Clips the point.
Pelican and Hawk standing here now, though. They should have a chance to take it back.
Oh, they just don't touch.
Nice hacker while power driving.
Before it changed hands once more. Izzyaki is still standing on top
Looking for Izzyaki to counter. Oh, and now Atlanta have a window to EMP. That's going to be a big EMP.
Yeah. Oh, insane. No. Dragon saw that coming.
More than enough elbow grease to muscle the rain off the point.
Shanghai will flip this back. Does Atlanta have enough time to be able to come back and muster up one more fight? You have Masa spawning now, so you're not going to have the ability for the speed boost. And look at this minefield dropped right at the entryway.
Gator's going to have to touch, but he's pressured.
Hey, Kai's is exploded.
Still walked into it anyway. A nasty surprise awaits the Atlanta Reign when they come home to call. And Gator going to be able to drop onto the point now. The adaptive shielding keeping him alive, and Izzyaki gone over the edge, but Lip, that EMP is going to hurt. Masa, not a thing he could do to get away from it. And now Iris is caught on the outside looking in. Didn't even have to fade to make it happen, and the Dragons
Looking good from Dragons.
That was dominant from Dragons.
Big map number 1 win here for Shanghai. They got to pick Ilios. They're able to hold serve on their map selection.
Atlanta is gonna have to pick a map that forces the rush.
Where do we see them take this
Hero.
series? What do
Let's
they
go.
do?
Probably
At the
Hanamura.
early part that worked. You know, obviously a first to 4, very low.
And he guesses.
Hanamura,
they're
as I
gonna take a stand
expected.
for it. So,
Okay, yeah.
Volskaya,
Just me.
Volskaya, there's a large opportunity to play Winston, Wrecking Ball compositions. Doesn't really suit the Reinhardt playstyle. Or even like Arisa that much. So not a surprising pick here for the Atlanta Reign.
And look, the Atlanta Reign on the receiving end of an absolute drubbing from the Gladiators not so long ago. However, that's a bit of a standout match, I think, as we've seen these two teams go at it on that map since, and it's been very close. Atlanta were ready for everything that Dallas sort of had to show on this map, specifically yesterday. I think that was probably what sort of convinced me. And we've seen the Dragons in general be weaker on this map. It is pretty fortuitous, believe it or not, that the Reign have lost map 1, that they actually get to choose this one. Otherwise, it could be going anywhere else. There's no way Shanghai would choose this map.
No. I think if you ask Atlanta, they'd rather have the one map in their pocket than rather choose this one. But we'll see what Shanghai decides to do on defense. Typically here, we've seen them run like Pharah Ashe compositions against some of the other teams, and that looks like to be what they potentially come out here and run. The TP, I imagine, is just to get players up there
Arno Lucio instead of
maybe
playing like Bap or something.
Well, maybe, yeah. Okay, so you're going to see Lee Jagan use the speed. Yep, get everybody
okay.
out. So,
Arno
like I imagine, you're going to see the Pharah Ashe composition.
First time I've seen OBS Junkrat.
And then you also have double shield, so Arisa Sigma.
No shock to see this from the Dragons. In fact, the Gladiators played a similar style on this as well. They used moves on the Orisa defensively, but this is a little bit of a twist.
Wait a minute.
This is quite risky.
Against a rush combo, you're joking, right?
Come out and play.
Atlanta play Lucio. They could catch the Dragons, right?
I mean, they play Sim as well. They definitely can.
Hiding, waiting.
So the idea here is probably a biotic.
They know. Surely they know. Pelican is left here. Can they finish him off? They can. A big kill, but
did Pelican just walk past them?
Yeah, they will.
Oh, they can.
Yeah, I guess.
On the Atlanta Reigns face
Heidi.
It's pretty cheeky there. It's,
okay, so they switched to a Wrecking Ball comp.
Now, you would expect Atlanta to try and play like, the Reinhardt, the May, try and be like a rush style team against this. They're actually going to put Gator on the ball, and they're going to go with the Tracer Echo combination.
And of course, backed up with the Mercy. Gator swings on in here.
He gets deleted, yep.
Damage to be dealing with. Lip doesn't miss.
Oh, and Izuyaki had a nasty sleep there.
Iris doesn't quite have that tech. He is caught. And now will ward Pelican. It's a nasty shot.
Too good with it.
Is that really?
Okay, well, I'll charge for the
a bit of a staggered engagement.
I mean, Gator's still going in. Okay, so Gator's going to try and get like a position behind him.
Oh, they traded exactly.
Here, to bring Lip back. So, and now with Gator behind, actually Gator slept. Yeah, so he's actually slept.
I'd free out charge voice.
That is clean there.
He's also got Nano as well. Flo could do some real damage.
Sleep on the Pelican to get that early first kill. Now, Gator.
Guess the Gator's going to do it.
They'll sleep him, take care of him. So now some more changes here for the Atlanta Reign. You're going to have the Arisa composition.
Arisa.
So you'll keep the Diva. You're going to need the Diva to deal with the Pharah and the Rockets that come down. And you have Kai now on hit scan.
The Sigma on the off angle is also hard to deal with if you don't have somebody that can go up there and answer him. Some devious licks already from Izzy.
Devious licks.
Keep an eye on that, Anna. He is filthy. We're close to a barrage here, crucially for Flatter. So a lot of those key ultimates are really about to come online for the Dragons. That's half of the Atlanta Reigns' time gone.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot rely on Flatter just keeping his head and kind of being able to take it off.
And a nasty wood.
I just said devious licks.
I mean, look, a lot of damage going on the Dragons right now. Bob gets blown up pretty quickly, but Fake can just back around a corner and hide. Hold there was used to try and catch Pelican, hold him aloft so Lip could clean him up. But Pelican's able to get away now.
You get Nano. There's the damage.
That comes up with the credit for the kill, but Atlanta was getting his hands dirty, sure enough, and the Shanghai Dragons are done playing nice.
Yeah, I mean, his FAR is insane, right?
Oh my
there's
God.
a reason why.
Oh, there's just total domination. So we're gonna see a FAR.
Last year, just the ability to play so many different heroes at that level. Shanghai have decided to get right up next to the spawn door, make this one personal.
This is not close, ladies and gentlemen. Another level has been found by the Shanghai Dragons at the Rain.
Oh no.
My boy Dylan Francis get more airtime than these guys at this rate. The Rain need to dig deep.
Oh, we got 100k.
And I mentioned
100k people watching.
Shanghai was forced off of some of the stuff that they like to do to try and adjust. I think the other, it's kind of gone completely the other way, right? Atlanta is forced into maybe an area that they're not extremely comfortable in, having to play some of these.
Pelican Ballet.
Goes on in and slept immediately. Another one from Izayaki.
Okay, you got it.
Duplicated Orisa form. Holt is unavailable now, so Pelican cannot bring anyone down from the high ground.
Two
Getting rid
Holts.
of the enemy, Orisa, is a good start. Lee J got
What the hell that
clearly
work?
in position to resurrect, and Kai finds the dynamite kill on Lip. It is a 6v4, and Kai sitting pretty
Pelican
clear
was
on
just
that
not able
archway.
to get the double
Gonna be the Rain to make
bongo.
their way slowly to point A, but sure enough, they'll get there.
Does Shanghai try and recontest? Fate back on the ball. Might be able to get a touch here. If he does, then you're coming up on maybe a Gravitic Flux and a bomb.
He's in. Flatter now dealing with Pelican. Burst down, though. There's a lot of damage coming from Pelican's direction. And now he's able to focus on some of those larger targets. Fate is not going to be left
You get that
alone.
point.
And Izayaki can barely touch. The Atlanta Rain really had to dig their heels
Flutter's
in,
gone over to
but
the Echo now.
They're on the way to point B.
I mean, that's huge, right? That's, you kind of...
There's a try mirror here, yeah.
that moment right there, and that's something that probably
Winston
keeps
as
Atlanta
well.
in this series, at least for now,
On
right?
Monkey.
First.
You know, you don't get
What?
a tick, you
Whoa,
lose that
okay,
first point
double
with
shield.
Shanghai, it's already 2-0, they're halfway
Maybe they're
there.
gonna try and mirror,
They're
except they
taking it
have
home.
the
You're in
Ana
trouble.
instead of
now they kind
the
of keep
Feast.
themselves alive here. 2 minutes and 30 on the clock. Some ultimates available here.
Nice grenade by Lip there.
Shanghai.
Unlucky.
Atlanta, you're still having to build up towards something, right? You don't have anything to work with right now.
Guessing they want a nano flutter.
Is possible here.
No, not a Lee J going with Moss.
Oh yeah.
Primal Instinct took hold there. Pulls the clock out. That was the
No
bound
fear,
point
DJ,
from Lee J
no
Gold.
fear.
Now expended.
You're looking at an Amp Matrix here from the high ground here for the Atlanta Rain, trying to get themselves some space.
Point
Get
already.
Kai set up.
Hawks a problem on the point right now.
Well,
He's
with
almost
the high
got
ground.
one tick, and Pelican was again able to assassinate Fleta, really trying to
get Void.
leverage that Rookie of the Year caliber, Matthew. He gets pressured a little bit by Lip on the lower ground, and he's not able to get away. It's going to be Bob that actually finishes the job, and Fleta is back in the fight. That's 2 ticks, though. Hawk sitting on the point.
This
trying
is
to
such
get
a
this thing
scrappy
captured.
play. Could go
The
either way.
self-destruct comes out, but there's no pilot to clamber back in, and the Atlanta Rain now have the numbers to go forward with. Supercharger thrown down. Void trying to hold the fort here with that kinetic grasp, and Bob making it hard for him. But Lip has a cheeky little angle
Oh,
here.
nice
From
grenade.
Dynamite right into the back line.
Nice dynamite there.
Very low. He needs to jump inside the immortality field, and now Fate tries
Wait, what?
to get involved. Pile driver there, but he rolls out of the immortality field, and Izayaki.
Wait, what?
There it
What
is.
is again?
The Atlanta Rain have come alive in the last few moments, and they'll have the cap on point B.
A huge turn of events here for the Atlanta Rain. The Amp Matrix buys them some space up on the high ground. They're able to get a nice sightline for Kai to look through and put down damage, but it's Pelican who picks up the first kill. Hawk gets another one on the point, and then Hawk just kind of holds serve on the point, while Gator and Co are just sitting in that bottom choke. And when they're in the bottom choke, Gator actually ends up with his ultimate, drops supercharger. So
Which one's the
more damage,
favorite drink
a really nice sightline for
in
Kai to
the
shoot
Hadamura
from.
vending
In
machine?
the Ash damage,
I like
just
water.
that range was too
I like the smiley face drink. You know.
A lot of attempts to outmaneuver by both teams there, as the Dragons ended up playing from the sort of attacker's vantage up on that ledge. They were hoping to use that high ground advantage to punish, but that Bob plus the
Genji.
presence of Hawk on the point there really forced the Dragons away.
And you finish with time.
Okay.
Like
Torb, Echo?
Up to point A, that's huge.
Yeah, you finish with a
Top.
pretty
Kai on the top instead of
right?
Pelican on the
Minute
top.
24 on the clock. Atlanta on defense will come out, play double shield. This is like one of their best looks, right? This is kind of what you know the Atlanta Rain to play traditionally, is these double shield comps. And they'll put Kai on the Torbjorn. So Kai is usually the one we do see man that Torbjorn. This is a look from his point of view. I mentioned, yeah, this is when, this is right
Kai is
after
just
the Amp Matrix
nasty.
do a drop down. Now he gets the extra
true.
damage here from the supercharger. It just works down Void.
And all this action on the point forces Lip to play in this small little corner towards his spawn. Pelican arrives a little late, but He's able to punish Fletter, who's trying to play from that safer vantage point. Good looks here from the Atlanta Reign, Matthew. It was a slow start, but they come up with the goods.
So when we get back in the game, we're already kind of started a little.
Shanghai going the wrecking ball.
Just kind of
Tracer.
posturing Shanghai, figuring out.
I played double shoot. Yeah, I should position Sigma up there. Yeah.
Shanghai, they'll kind of play
It's
their
a good point.
butter, right? The wrecking
The
ball.
12's a good pick against the Summer Tracer. We'll see how it works.
You see the Summer Tracer coming, I think, so they pick this comp.
The thing is that the Dragons already gained some level of access to point A. It took the Atlanta Reign ages to even get this far. Fletter's infiltrating here. That accretion whizzes over his head. He'll just take position right now. Pressure beginning to mount for the Atlanta Reign.
I got on point.
Master, and this is going from bad to worse. Flutter just going to hide out of line of sight for the time being here, and the Reign are trying to do two different things at once.
Game
Contest
low.
the point
Really
of
get
view
healed.
with the influx of players through the choke. Pelican might be coming
Again,
to
another
rescue, getting rid
super
of Void,
scrappy
but losing
fight.
Gator is your fulcrum. He's your
There's no
pivot.
clean.
Who the hell's
Just
winning?
around that Orisa as much as you can, so Pelican has to go to another level. And Kai's found two.
No, well, Kai, when Kai gets the picks, though.
What Atlanta's going for, though, to be honest. You know, the
Is he gonna hammer?
fights drag out, the longer they are, and that they can keep Iris alive, they're in a good spot. You know, you have that immortality field, just way more.
They're just getting
potential
picks from
coming
both
out of
teams.
Matisse than even the Zen and the Brig combined.
Hulk's probably
So
gonna
as
die.
long as you keep
It's
Iris
close for
up,
the
you're in a
wrong
good spot.
reasons.
Flatter goes in with the pulse bomb. There's no connection there, and Void takes a gigantic hit.
Oh, his spawn camming him. Oh, the body block.
He's trying to return to the point, and he uses that.
That's good.
There's too much
That's so
damage.
good.
The Dragons able to identify a key opportunity to remove a crucial.
Oh, and the EP comes out. Oh, he just manages to get Molten Core out now.
White,
That could be
the
big.
white. How about? Let's go.
Fate
with the mines, looking good.
Nails Pelican up against the wall there, and now goes to try and deal with Iris, but that is
That's
risking
lit.
his
Holy
Yes.
shit.
done either way.
Yeah, it's eventually Shanghai able to break on through.
Okay, 5 minutes.
But this point may be a little bit harder for them to break on through against this type of composition. You can take a look at this replay from Fate's POV is, yeah, they
Body
just
blocks.
body block Gator. He's coming back off the spawn, right? He had died a little bit earlier, so saving grace for Atlanta here
Same way.
is you're going to have a ton to work with, right? Supercharger, Flux, Duplicate.
Fate's on the.
You know, double support ult here for Shanghai, but the big one you're scared about is that EMP is off the table.
I'm expecting Faye and Liv to do some sort of
Hawk
double
with the
team.
Gravitic Flux online. They're going to have to rely on that to
Oh,
make a difference here.
pulse
Supercharger
Yes, the immortality
already thrown
field,
down.
huh?
That was short-lived as Splatter takes it out with a pulse bomb. Gravitic Flux now. Izayaki avoids it, but there's no one to kill with that Transcendence. He's out of position. He's able to find Pelican from the oddest of angles. But now Hawk is going to make sure he's
Bit of
dealt
an
with.
uncharacteristic
Really interesting. You'd love to see them from, like,
bad
the
positioning
angle
from
of that,
the
because
Izayaki there.
Izyaki's up
So
on the high
she-
ground. When that Flux is
Yes.
coming down, he has
Yeah,
teammates
there's
that are stuck inside of it, but
ah.
he opts to
Ryan
drop.
Diva.
And I wonder if he was like knocked off
Okay.
of the side, or
But they
you know,
played
'cause
against Dallas
him
Field on
dropping
Hard
there,
or one of the
doesn't
maps
end up
yesterday.
saving any of his teammates. So this is these
Not
are
just holding
teams
the
from
high
both
ground, the
teams,
BAP
right?
and the Brig.
Atlanta will stay with the Torbjorn and the Echo, but they'll swap to Ryan
It's
Diva here.
the Brig is actually really good because the Brig can just stay in the staircase and keep swinging, and then the Lippet will not want to go up through the back. It's denying space like
This may
that.
benefit Atlanta because Gator's able to play close corners and get right up in front of Faye without having to approach him over a long distance, losing.
Hey, Flatter gets Kai turret there.
That Ryan Shield is gone. So Gator's probably happy to play here, but he'll be the main target of the EMP. That connects. There's still going to be a fight.
Okay.
Because Hawk tries to take to the high ground, but oh my! 4 people
Damage
credited
is
with the
too much.
elimination on Gator. Iris's immortality field does very little to prolong his lifespan, and Master is also down. Flash
Should get this one here.
now moving to the point for the Shanghai Dragons. They're trying
Leto
to
almost
get
dies to the Tor
They're
route.
1/3 of the way there. Flatter retreats.
Pelican
Slightly safer
gets him.
position, but he's getting pressured from the high ground. Pelican's able
Kills.
to remove him, but his
I think they win this fight here just because Kai's on top and they have more advantage. Bring out the hammer.
Himself now to have some impact. Gator stays alive long enough to get rid of Lee Jae-gon at the very least. He'll be removed, but there's no Brig standing for the Shanghai Dragons now. It's up to Izayaki to try and top them, but Pelican's able to run Void over. Another successful defense for Atlanta.
I mean, the rally is what saves them. You're wondering how Gator is able to live for that long as Pelican with some long-range tracer shots there to finish off Lip. He's able to live that long because you do have the rally. in
Oh,
play.
okay.
So now this is a different
Bob
look from Atlanta.
May.
You're going to bring the May into
Hey.
this
Master's gone over to the Lucio.
because you want to close that gap.
Gator almost have ulti here.
To just kind of farm up that range, you know, get this extra damage.
As usual, Lee Jae-gon
You take the fight, you
and
want to try and take advantage.
Lee Jae-gon and Lip probably have out really soon.
Composition that Shanghai
Don't wanna
has
isolate
put them
some
off with a
targets and
paywall
just
then
rush them down.
Lip has already built an EMP though. One long fight. He's got a
Big shattering coming. Devious immortality here second. Oh, he gets set up for
He tried to shatter, but it's interrupted. He loses it to Fletter's flashbang or a shield bash, either one. That's frustrating
And
for
that's
Ryan.
big EMP. Oh my goodness. Not able to get immortality filled out and no amp matrix for this fight so far until the point.
Say cutting pick here.
If Kai, oh, okay. That's it.
Still very close in terms of time.
This is closer than I thought.
Super close in terms
Minute
of time.
33, Atlanta minute 24. So pretty comparable times for both teams here. I think when you look at it, like, can Atlanta get off to a better start on their offense, right? They're not going to have that much time to work with. It took them a while to get things going on their first offensive attack on point A. They don't have the luxury of that here. They have to be much better.
And again, Atlanta got a little bit frazzled by the looks of things on their first attempt at attacking, right? Lose a couple players. The Shanghai Dragons were more prepared than they thought. Master goes for a resurrect on Pelican. They both get eliminated once more. That is time being bled off of the clock. Very comparable time bank between these teams, but this map should be Atlanta Reign's ace in the hole. The one they had up their sleeve to level the series really early on and start to build some comebacks. So
the Play Overwatch Twitter account just liked an image of the new Bastion with a cock.
Shanghai is going to try.
What? And now everyone is freaking out about it on Twitter.
Lands that crazy.
Just go on Twitter. Just go on Twitter.
Initially, we can take a look from Fletta's POV. This is
You'll probably see a post like, who's running the @Play Overwatch account right now? So they liked a photo of Bastion with a dick.
Where is it? Send it to me. Send it to me.
Atlanta, they'll come out. This is probably.
Do I want to post Rule 34 in our server?
They really want to try and get the TP to the.
I'll just DM it to you. No, you know what? Fuck it. I'm putting it on memes.
No, send it to you.
It has to be an immortality.
It's up. It's up.
Suffice to say, this is not the start Atlanta were looking for, Matthew.
No,
okay, Flutter. I see you, Flutter.
Deleted, please.
Oh.
It's a crucible.
I'm gonna delete it, screw it.
Already gonna have this barrage pretty much for this next fight. I thought Atlanta would try and take the TP, maybe at high ground, right? Where we've seen teams, right? You put the TP and then you bait. You don't actually take the TP. You use the speed and get right on top of Fate. Try and make a play like that. They decide to
Flutter just taking names.
Make a hit with a huge biotic grenade.
32 seconds remain.
They unliked it. They unliked it.
Fate is playing towards
Hey,
the choke and how aggressive they are.
try and go for another TP engage.
It's so difficult for them to find any room to get this teleporter down.
Kai waiting for the moment to put that teleporter down. Gator trying to protect it.
Oh, that's a good boop. They boop him away from the teleporter. Oh, that was so good from Flutter. Flutter just knows exactly what to do. They just can't do anything against Flutter's fire. Too good.
Not a darn thing he could do about it. And the Atlanta Reign are going to be sent packing with not even a single tick on their second offense. Not what they were looking for.
So now your goal here for Atlanta is to secure a draw, right? You need to just figure out a way that you can stop this. Shanghai with a pretty big advantage, though, right? Being able to attack.
We need
here
to stop this.
A good amount of time. They're going to be able to come out, see what you're running, try and form a composition that can work, and then go back on the attack. Atlanta kind of almost has to play something here that's like pretty generic, good against like multiple different things, maybe not the most optimal. Do you kind of go back and play? Do you play Orion Sigma?
How did the Overwatch?
Orion Diva.
How did the play Overwatch kind of like that?
The only option is to fight Point. Arista Sigma.
Genji, let's go.
In open space, so they will play the Arista Sigma.
Please don't be a tease. Please don't be a tease. Please.
And concussive blast. The Reign wanted to set up
Mayhem made a good point on Twitter. Alright, but how funny would it be if the last 2 CP ever ended in a draw?
Devastating. But now Hawk can play this off angle. Sigma on the top right hand side, he can sort of control any sort of ingress through that little hidey hole. And Gator can play the front choke. This is a very robust...
No, Flutter, Genji.
Mixed in as well, but all the Dragons need to do is find that opening, use their displacement potential, find a Discord orb target.
You will see what Shanghai
does. Ooh. They're going to play the rush.
This is
They're gonna play the Atlanta Reign Cup.
You can get to the point. And then once you start playing on the point, right, that's when you like this Reinhardt over the Orisa.
The Dragons want to say anything.
Oh, fake out with the teleporter.
Yeah, they don't take it, yeah.
And they just run over them.
Hawk out of the picture from Void in the front line of the Atlanta Reign.
Oh, Kai dies to turret.
Kai gonna at least find Lip, but it wasn't even him, it was his turret. Inanimate object starting to get more damage done than the Atlanta right now. As the
That's fast.
They assume their spot.
Just dominated that attack.
Well, no, it's not looking good for the Reign.
No, not at all.
Is this halftime?
I think there might be one more. I'm not sure.
And it's just a beautiful play from Shanghai. They put down the
What do you mean halftime when 3 when
Well, it's not guaranteed to be a 4-0 every time.
It's actually a
Watch it
that kind of block some of the healing and help. Maybe something a little bit different. Maybe even Dorado. But you come back after that little bit of
74% win rate.
Halftime. You win that first map, we're square even, right? So
It's
this map is
scary.
really important for Atlanta.
All that is predicated on the Reign winning this map.
Yes.
The classic Overwatch map that every team has a really well fleshed out approach to. It's dangerous to take any team to this map, and the Shanghai Dragons have an answer for everything, let alone the most played map in the game. Citation required. The Dragons will be starting on the offense here in the Reign. No surprise to see they go with Cowboy here. We'll call him Dave. Cowboy with the Tracer. And of course the standard rush composition here with the backline.
Shanghai.
Yeah, why the BAP instead of Mora?
Right?
Immortality field.
Winston
Oh.
That would be a little different.
Pharah with no mercy would be a bit different. Let's see. Izzyaki here on the Zen. Yeah, they're probably gonna go like Zen. They're gonna play the.
But also, I mean,
rig probably.
you want to play a little bit more defensive in a sense as well. I'm assuming.
Oh, this is okay. This is quite greedy. It is a very aggressive poke setup.
We'll see what Lip decides to do. Okay, so you can take some high ground control here with the Sigma, right? Sigma, Ashe, Zen, Bap. It'll be hard to keep like Fate alive, right? You like an Ana or something.
But he's not playing aggressively.
Dropping onto the point now. You gotta pressure the point.
Goodbye, Lip.
Such a high damage poke composition. Fate's not taking an engagement right now.
Ooh, and they just hard engage onto Lip, who's out on a wide angle.
Lip gets absolutely smashed, and Fate has to roll away.
Kai is so good with the shot.
Right?
Say, yeah.
A ton of damage at range that can't really be answered as easy, but Izyaki's gonna take out Iris.
Fate is down though. He can't quite
You're
get
waiting for
away.
flank.
And you're right. I mean, it's tough for Fate to stay alive against this
You
here.
can continue to move up here though. If you're Shanghai with no Iris in the equation and you still have your Batiste,
Get a tick.
you can definitely continue to
Y'all, they
Where
kill
did this
Gator.
composition come from? We haven't seen this in the longest time, if at all. Where have Shanghai been keeping this tech? Hawk gets de-suited on the high ground.
Ooh.
Okay, let's leeching on here. He's actually has a good hand because he doesn't want to risk it there. Getting
Nice.
Something else in the Atlanta Reign again.
But it's too little too late.
Yeah.
Well, it's a brutal comp to play against if you're Atlanta, because when Atlanta sees like the
That's
ball,
good, that's really
like
good.
that, right? They want to try and rotate through Hotel and come around.
So much
other
poke
players who are
damage.
A little bit less static.
Just
But
break the shields
Void,
and
Izzyaki,
overwhelm
Legion,
them.
Lip, they can all control high ground, where Atlanta can't even access that, right? So they come out of the Hotel and they're walking right into a pile driver with, the Zen damage and the Batiste and the Ashe damage at range at a high ground
driven.
you cannot access.
Okay, standard rush procedures here.
It feels like, unless there's an immortality field there from Iris, so you're protected by the shield.
Big stick here.
Long range damage. The Dragons even get to dip into the immortality field, but isn't it?
Oh, massive flux! Holy shit!
Iris is going to lose that immortality field. That's well used for sure. Master not going to fare nearly as well, though when Gator was held aloft. Only
Good
to be
shit.
brought crashing down. Just like the morale of the Atlanta Reign in this moment as the Dragons plow ahead.
And I think it just kind of tells you about how insanely good of a team
so good.
Shanghai Dragons is. Because Atlanta has played against a lot of teams in this playoffs who are very good at these types of compositions with the Wrecking Ball in play and whatnot.
Atlanta's head.
Atlanta's rolled them, right? Taking it to them with these compositions. Shanghai just hitting another level here.
Crucially, Gator is held aloft inside the bookstore, so it's much easier for the Dragons to get that half of his health done to guarantee the insta-kill when he drops.
Pelican needs to get
Pelican with a pulse bomb.
good
The
pulse
in
here.
the baby. Special delivery, Lee J gone. Wrong number.
Gator gets melted.
Minefield now out around the cart. Gator's been taken down. He gets isolated.
Oh my god.
Backline, Matt.
Yeah, and they get Hawk as
They're just
well.
running in.
Oh, nerd.
Now you lose Pelican.
Oh,
This
no.
Park is
Fled's gonna build his next bomb as well.
forward.
Oh, the damage is too much. The coordination is so good as well between Fled and Fate.
Diabolical circumstances they could have feared. Fate's knocking on their spawn door, and the Atlanta Rain
Ice
can't
was just
backtrack
the
any
Hanzo.
further. This is it. They have to come up with something, and soon.
For Shanghai, it just seems like
I
this
think he
is
wants to insta kill
a little bit of a
for
battle against
on
themselves, right? I mean, I think
Lipta.
they want to prove that without a doubt, they were the best team this year and one of the best
Answer
teams
back
of
with
all
some more
time.
poke.
How they are playing, you know, over the last 2 seasons.
Oh, and
that's gonna be
Izzyaki just gets a kill.
off there. That's gonna force out
That'll
the
do it.
Sapphire early on, but 2 kills already in favor of the Dragons.
Nothing is going right for the Rain right now. A long time coming. The Dragons unleashing their full fury on the Rain. And they're far from done. Still 4 minutes in the time bank here. This will be competing for one of the fastest attacking times on this map.
Fate
at
putting
this
some
rate, Matt.
really good
This
pressure
is
on them.
astonishing pace.
And Lip's gonna go to the Widow to come back. Gator's gonna have Shatter, but you're into this shield from Void.
Ooh, Lip switching to Widow here could be very interesting. I want to see Lip pop up. I just want to see.
There with the Maywall, get anybody split off.
Lip on the Widowmaker.
Oh, Lip!
Master down and Izzyaki.
Man actually isn't that.
Sniping from long range. Kai Master both down.
So risky and it just pays off. He's too good.
Lip's actually just an
Solo
insane
flux
character.
into Gator and damage is done.
He's teabagging him. Oh!
Trying to dodge away, and Void just limbers up a little bit more for the battle.
How you thread the needle of the rock as well. It's how you fight the BM of the Atlanta and you BM them back.
Are in dire straits.
3
Void
minutes.
putting his Sigma toes into Hawk's mouth, showing him who's the alpha, the literal Sigma male off tank.
But still, I mean, Hanamura was close, right? You know, you get it to extra innings. You know, it's kind of
Don't
like one
put your
fight
toes in my
both
mouth.
sides. This
Yes.
is a speed run though here on King.
That's what Super said to a I think Korean player
Gargoyle, right?
from
Gargoyle.
I think Gangnam Gym.
Gangnam? No, Gangnam Jin doesn't play off tank. I think it was Gargoyle.
Gargoyle and the Gargoyle had to ask.
Yeah, had that swing chip. Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck does? Don't put your toes in.
And then swing chip was like, who the fuck said that to you?
First, let's see what we can come up with there. The Dragons, as a unit, have played through so many iterations of metas and map pools. And this one, both teams feel at home. But the Atlanta Rain are at risk of being evicted unceremoniously
Okay,
from
and they
Kings Road.
just defense with
So,
basically the
I think
exact
for
same comp.
Atlanta, obviously, you know, you're not. The
Oh,
chances
yeah.
of be beating that time bank are very narrow, right?
You're living better.
You're looking at this point at just you need to get a map completion, obviously with time remaining. This is from Lips POV. And at that point,
Oh my gosh.
you need to go back and kind of reassess what you're going to do compositionally. Obviously, Shanghai has
Oh,
some things today.
Void.
Gator just trying to get that showdown, just clips the edge of the
Good
shield.
block.
to
I mean,
get
at
anybody.
this point, you just try and see what sticks as Atlanta, right? You have to try and make a play to come back from such a deficit. Fate, Wrecking Ball, or Punching Bag, whatever you prefer. He's been both tonight. Takes a fair bit of poke damage now, but it's looking for the back line. It's Kai, looking a little vulnerable there. Quickly forming ranks with the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, and you know, Fate just kind of forces this positioning. They're going to actually get rid of Void on the high ground. So that's a big early first pick.
Pelican popping off at the top. Kai gets lit.
Oh, okay, here we go. Starting to get something going here for the Atlanta Rain.
Okay, okay.
Hanzo and the Torbjorn are really making
As soon as they
so
put
far
them onto
below.
the comfort picks, these are the picks. The Atlanta Rain is just gonna
Capturing point A was
start
definitely
popping
in
off.
the top of their to-do list. Objective secured. We'll have a healthy time bank to go with that.
Lip wants to Hanzo diff him.
Snowball.
Yeah,
Oh.
Converted into a big advantage.
Lip will do that.
It's Lip that finds the headshot on
Oh,
Kai here.
And I believe
Hanzo
that's
May with the
wow
double
from
shield.
Kai, 'cause, yeah, I mean, you couldn't even see Lip. So, and he
That's about as
Yeah,
emotional.
Pelican
mirroring
mirrors the
them,
May.
yeah. So Pelican now gets over to the May. So
I think MSA needs to Masa is also up here because the break's no use.
is playing the Batiste with Masa on the brig, so you sense extra damage from the Zen coming into play.
Oh,
You know, this is a comp, not with the double shield, but you know, the Gladiators, right? They were able to use, I believe it was in the Countdown Cup, like the Zen Batiste compositions, where a lot of other teams couldn't do it at the same level because you know you have Shu and Skewed, but It worked great for the
Oh, nice rock up,
Shanghai
pull
pulling
combo.
out something similar.
Nice little Halt accretion combo there. Made Void fear for his life for a moment. Double amplification matrix now. This is about to get extremely.
He put the amplification matrix on the card.
Gators removed by Izayaki, playing safely behind that shield.
Good damage. Oh, just wasn't able to save Fate.
And that Trans also quite useless.
Izayaki now planning his next move. Masa is on the menu.
Yeah, it's just his hair too late.
As if Masa switches after using Rally.
It's good enough, especially with the combo with the May wall there from Fleta, to be able to take out Masa inside of that closed room. Maybe if you don't get him, he pops out and Rally, and you start to march down Shanghai with no Orisa in the mix. But now with everybody having to wait, you're back at full strength for both teams.
And Runner gonna probably just wait to use some ults. I guess from Shanghai, if they get a good flux, I'm looking for the Flux Dragon.
That's going to be a halt into a
massive flux.
Oh, they kill Ijagon, that's good. Blizzard out there. Not gonna get as much as they hope.
Dragon Strike thrown in, and Iris is going to try and ascend above it, but Lip finds two. Can the rain push through this
And
now?
again, such a scrappy fight.
Pushing at him, but Fleta is there to defend him. Gator sitting on top of the ice wall now, and it has to be an ice block from Pelican. He backs away, realizing he's overextended. Fleta's down.
Gator.
And Fate just commits to see what he can get. A big
There he
fat
is.
goose egg as Gator finds 3.
Atlanta holds on as they have to use the Blizzard there towards the end.
No way they don't touch you, right?
Fate and
Oh, Lip again with the Pelican.
Another early pick here from
Keeps
Lip.
happening. There might be a chance for a stall here.
Void barely touches.
Void is, oh, it's going to be dicey.
He's got an immortality field.
He's
Oh.
been body blocked away from it though. Iris gets rid of it already.
Oh,
And they get there.
Kai's getting tons of diff.
Kills. Kai is getting frustrated for sure.
I mean, Lip just coming out of nowhere, right? With these early pickoffs, headshots. This time he comes on a flank. I mean, look at this. I mean, how many times do you see Hanzo back here doing stuff like this? I mean, it's crazy. So, Atlanta, though, look, like I said, maybe you don't actually get to beat this time, but they're tracking pretty well with the way that they're going.
This is uncanny connections from Lip here. Iris gets tenderized as well. So the Dragons play far forward, even though there's a spawn very close by for the rain, and it's going to be
That's a nice dragon. That's a nice dragon.
Can they get away? No, Shenron has his fill. The Atlanta Rain grouped together behind Hawk now. Master tries to look for a shield bash. Finds
Lip. Lip's actually insane, Hanzo. Holy shit.
He just comes out of that side room. It's a beautiful use of the dragon, right? You force them back into that corner, and then the dragon just does so much work splitting the
Again, looking for a cheeky
Gator
pick.
now over to the Rhine. So interesting you play the Rhine without the Lucio speed, maybe because you're so close to the rally.
Hey, Kai can dragon it into crazy space, yeah.
Kai,
Let.
it's a furrowed brow. He knows he's got more to show.
And Master dies.
Oh my god.
Fleta goes for an instant ice block, but sees Gator is low.
Why would you? Okay.
He gets the enemy right hard, and Pelican's playing dangerously here.
Oh, just was able to get the wall out. Oh, but it's good transcendence.
And even though Void and Fleta make decent popsicles, they'll be kept hardy and hail by the Zen ultimate.
I mean, you just
still
get
with the old advantage for the Shanghai Dragons.
And it is just constant, like just plays that. You try and make a montage of the
Pelican Genji.
and you'd have to cut some of the best plays we've seen.
Here it is though.
Gonna go for some hard engages.
Beautiful gravitic flux from Hawk, but
Trying to go through the shield, and it's.
Is he gonna go? Yeah, he's gonna go up there. Yeah.
Definitely look a little weaker in this fight. Clean stuff from the Atlanta Rain as Pelican switches to the Genji.
Pelican Genji. Very clean.
And you're still on track here for Atlanta to be in a
Lip switches McCray.
Obviously, you're not going to beat the 316. Kind of scratch that from your memory. You finish with above a minute something on the clock, right? You at least give yourselves a chance.
You can turn it around for sure. But defending point A is really what this is going to come down to at this rate. That's a scary amplification matrix across the map here. The Dragons are well suited to use it, but it's going to be Lip that gets rid of Kai. That hurts the Rain in a big way.
Good kill into Kai though.
Okay, immortality kill.
Oh,
Fate,
Shadow.
Bleaching and gets smashed.
Extra sensory
that's
there,
it for.
but Master rolls over the top.
There's Pelican.
Pushing forward.
Oh,
The Atlanta Rain, they want
found
it
that.
so badly, Matthew. Void gonna retreat.
Guess he's Yaki next.
Now he's
Yep.
not in the picture to heal him up
That's
properly.
it.
The Atlanta Rain.
Okay, I need to run and take a quick piss.
Look, it's a weaker time bank.
Just run, let's go.
But they come alive in the final moments. and they're in this with a chance.
How many times though have we seen on maps, like King's Row, right, where they don't finish with a ton of time, right? Maybe Atlanta, you get the payload, you start moving. The other team can't really change up that composition. They need to kind of hold on to those ultimates to be able to win. And you're never saying you're completely out of it, right? So this at least gives them a puncher's chance here on King's Row. A lot like what they had on Hanamura, right?
Just not the Minnesota Vikings punter.
Yeah, I mean,
any other one though is fine. 1 minute 33 to 3 minutes and
somebody
16.
hurt you in fantasy or something?
Oh, you don't even want to know, bro. Oh, Tyreek Hill, why?
I'm a Giants fan, so I'm always hurt, just permanently.
Before we lose everybody with that talk of sports ball, it's going to be Sigma Orisa here, but let's have a look at Master in those final moments. I mean, Atlanta Reign just pedal to the metal here, Matt.
And this is when they look their best, right? When they can up the tempo, force their type of play style. Iris gets on the high ground here. Some nice shots there added with the healing. This is really like
I'm back.
make or break for their series here. If you're able to take this cart, run it a decent amount, right? Steal King's Row after Shanghai sets a 316 time bank, you're right back in it. Like I mentioned, you get this extended halftime break, and you come right out of that. You win that map 1. We're at a tie game, right? And you can easily start,
Was that
these
pull?
players up. Like, hey,
Gator.
Hanamura, we're not that far off. We still
I'm probably gonna split out here in this spam.
Right back in it. With that first pick.
If there's any team that works well with momentum, it's the Atlanta Reign, Matthew. Flutter being picked off is a great start. The Dragons are better than anybody else at winning a fight with 5 players, but against the Reign, it's no ordinary opposition they're dealing with.
Lip is flanked. Gets DPS devved by Kai. Oh my god.
Getting one back against Lip. Vindicated he is, and now it's off to work.
See how scared they are that they throw the immortality field up there before they even get
Okay.
Yeah. Into the hotel they go. Nice hold there, and Kai is just patient with this damage. Look at advanced shots. Just continue to work down some of these more durable targets. Great finish for Atlanta. This is absolutely the bare minimum if they want to win this map.
Absolutely. And now you look across the board in terms of ultimates, right? You got a Valkyrie, you got a duplicate here for the Atlanta Reign. You're in a good spot to even get some more payload progress. So you can see some nice
Pelican.
try shots
So
here
good.
from Pelican. Little
welcome back.
out of the damage boost there. Look at this. A Valkyrie, Ant Matrix. You have a pulse.
Well, Lip tries to flank his Hanzo, but I got headshot by
I
Kai.
think Flutter needs to get a good pick here. At least force out a mortality field.
Could end this here and now, though, with a timely pulse bomb, no pun intended. Just waiting in the wings there by Kai as the Reign move forward. The Dragons are waiting to see what happens here.
I wonder if they Sonic this.
And Matrix for both teams.
Oh, he whiffed
Oh,
it.
and it was how they feels gone out already.
But he misses the pulse entirely.
Gator's low though. They have to
Down to the very least, and
hold
they'll
a bit
stick
more
around to see what
passively.
he can make happen, but there it is, a group
And that's good. The trans already been used as well, so.
2 fluxes, let's go!
Finish the job.
Double.
Have one as well. Duplicate so nasty. The setup from the Atlanta Reign.
So much damage.
Embarrassment of riches
It's just
to force the
piling
Dragons
in.
back, and so they shall.
And this is what I was talking about. Now you can really start to make an impact if you're the Atlanta Reign, because Shanghai doesn't want to switch off of this, right? You've already, like, are you going to move away from Void with a Flux, or, Lip with the Dragon?
Holy shit, Pelican's nasty.
Compositionally or not. And that may allow Atlanta to win another fight, although Atlanta has to use everything into that last one.
Yeah, they have used everything.
They
just don't touch. I'm expecting Supercharger, and maybe like combining the Flux of the Dragon.
Would be a huge change in momentum.
Yeah, Flatter's behind.
Okay,
The Dragon gets Hulk here, let's go. Void gets a massive Flux.
that's good damage. That'll do it. Okay, 3 minutes and some overtime to push that far.
And that's the map done for the Atlanta Reign, but an incredible
Double.
mostly in overtime.
But for Atlanta, you now have a clear win condition, right? 3:16 on the clock for Shanghai. Now you hold, let's say, you win 2 fights here on the first point. Now you dwindle some clock. You're in a spot where you could get Shanghai in a position where it's OT through the entire second phase of the map. They would have to take that second checkpoint and then move it a little bit further, right? So you give yourself 2-3 opportunities post point A if you can dwindle some clock here. Dwindling the clock at the start is going to be the biggest thing for the Atlanta Reign.
Benji? No, he's just
Defense is
deceiving here.
The Reign don't
It's a
wanna have
trick.
to roll
Send a reply.
Unless
here on that second phase of the
It's a
map.
trick.
I mean, feasibly, if you went for a Genji to dive through the shields, go for some sort of hard engage, but then doesn't also...
Maybe a
Oh,
little bit of a safer pick than the Cowboy. For
if
Kai.
they play some sort of Winston.
Yeah, just a little bit extra mobility.
Ah, he's gonna change it last second. Watch this.
You know, if they're gonna play something like an Ashe, right?
I mean, he'll
Yeah,
literally
see?
tries to play Cowboy into that Hanzo.
They are?
We'll see what Shanghai decides to run. They'll play the Atlanta will play the Arista Sigma. This will give them a little bit more flexibility as we move towards the later stages of the map. Does Shanghai go full-on dive here? Let's see what Lip decides to do. Yeah, so they all play the Sun.
Right.
This is a good choice for Shanghai, right? The EMP gives you clear win conditions with how fast Lip farms them up. You fully expect, 2, right, within the 360.
Izaki gets Kai here.
Oh! Okay, surely Master's gonna be able to res that.
What did Kai say in chat?
Nice shot.
And you're
Nice
gonna
shot,
have to. You probably need.
Oh yeah, nice shot.
Izaki,
he's back.
Putting damage into the shield of Gator, just forcing him out of the choke.
Look at Kai being also on a team known for their BM.
But that's one tick already seeded to the
Says sex
Dragons. Gator's lost his barrier here. Hawk has the kinetic grasp to allow Gator the space to move forward, but he's taking a little bit too much damage. Kai, he's not ready for Fletter. He goes in to get the clean up here, and it's 2 ticks and counting now. Immortality field thrown down to the back line.
Yeah, why is the
But he's got plenty of targets to choose from.
the sex big dick incident? Why didn't they have the OBS people censor?
So the worst part here
Censor chat.
They tried, I think. I think they tried.
No, like they had a censor chat setting, like which.
Yeah, I know.
You are now making changes to your composition, giving up some of the charge towards ultimates. You most likely have to, right? But Shanghai also doesn't really have to use anything to be able to take that. So if you're Atlanta, you have to obviously know.
Yeah, Atlanta having these last minute switches, that's not gonna be good for their economy.
Living dangerously here.
All the way back there.
Building his ult faster though, EMP can come out soon.
He can get EMP next time.
And they're all grouped up as well. This should be easy pickings for Lip. Once they get in a good position. There it is, 5-man EMP.
Master just vaporizes. Fletter doesn't need to use the pulse bomb right now. He sees the Torp turret, recalls away from him, but that's enough for the Dragons for now. Yeah. The Reign are in retreat.
Atlanta just needs to get out, try and get out with their lives. That's a huge kill there onto Fate. Maybe now once this minefield is gone, you can go and push up, because if the cart doesn't get to that second checkpoint, Fate's gonna have a very long range.
Expecting just to use this transcendence in response
massive,
to it. Oh, good start. Good start, Hawk.
He's lost the pulse bomb. Gator though's going to get pressured and body blocked.
That'll do it. Surely.
That's it, I think.
By the power driver, and Izaki sitting pretty on the transcendence. He'll only really need it for a celebration of this.
Time to watch some Overwatch 2.
They have 30 seconds to work with him, and for the Reign, it seems almost impossible to even touch. They're not going to get there. And
Overwatch 2 time, let's go.
The Shanghai Dragons are heating up, and the Reign are withering.
It's a 3-0 start here for Shanghai. So, this composition that they've run, Atlanta has been able to beat it with lots of different looks, whether it's, the Cowboy Torb, the Reinhardt,
watch the reverse sweep
all
happen.
these different types that they
Oh.
I think Shanghai just
Absolutely. And look, and Space said there's a lot of fighting. It felt like there was a ton of skirmishes going on, a lot of back and forth stuff.
Oh, it's happening.
Gonna be 5 versus 5, of course.
Let's go.
We already get to see some of these locks to start things off. We're going to see Bastion straight off the bat, which is great. Also Sombra, so both these two new-look heroes with their reworks are going to be coming out the gates.
Well, also a reminder that there's some of the other changes that were in the PvP stream that are in here as well, right? Reinhardt, when he charges, can control and maneuver himself.
You got that power steering, baby.
Yeah, Space coming out of the spawn, right? I know, being able to get right towards that choke. And
The Fire Strike has updated visuals.
So some changes there with Reinhardt. As
The
we get to the mix. So,
whatever
this is a pretty
called the
deadly area,
Darius
right?
also have updated visuals.
Corridor. It's something we usually don't really have a lot in Overwatch 1. These massive long.
Oh, look at the assassin.
Oh, Bastion's on there.
Unreal. We see the biotic grenade thrown in there by Shu. But I mean, the fact that you can move around and have that Gatling gun potential. Now, also the primary fire.
It
it's
is a bit different.
Bursts, right?
Yeah, it's really good in long range scenarios. We see here from I know Kevster's POV Sombra, right? Used in much more of like an
Charger, let's go.
offensive way. Space
Yo.
gets active, you see how fast the abilities come back online, and a nice pin there to take out Closer.
Okay, Space is dirty. Look at the maneuverability that he has. For such a short range charge, he can still connect. So this means that Team 1 are on the road. They're pushing here, and obviously...
Bastion's hiding inside the pillar.
Is our name for the robot here?
Yeah, so you can see the top of the screen, right? The blue team is in the lead right now, pushing that robot. When the red team gets control of it, it'll kind of move faster back towards the middle. It's really tied to the team's barricade.
Doesn't look like there's been much
anything.
changes.
Birdring here on the Junkrat on the flank.
And again, we see a lot of people getting hacked by
1,200 health.
But it's for a brief time that
Oh, that was a nice one.
We saw this one in the preview, I think, and yeah, Space is getting a little bit nutty with it. Getting right into the face there of Mag, and even as an Earth Shadow to spend here. Now, these ultimates don't come as easy, right? You're not getting nearly as much ult charge from damaging tanks.
Well, yes, and I also think
Moss is finding a little bash. Let's go.
Is how much
Birdring Genji.
tanks are, right? Where Space is able to get right up and in that area. And you see Mag there, it's interrupted.
Oh, the new Genji look.
Shatter, but it's going to be an EMP from Decay on the other side.
Birdring on the Genji, by the way. Nasty stuff. Assassins
Ooh, Genji.
Mag sleeps
I mean,
it off,
Birdring.
and that's the EMP coming out. But Birdring still has, obviously, the use of the dash so soon after the EMP hits. Trying to deal with the aggression from Moth here in Valkyrie.
Yeah, you kind of think of EMP now, right? As like a large 1 second interrupt.
Goodbye,
and then
Kevster.
it's really about Sombra getting the damage benefit after that.
Plus
trying
that
to
percent
actually,
health damage as well, right?
Yes, and trying to actually finish players off. See, that's a nice hack here onto Moth. As he'll end up falling. So Assassin does have this Bastion. We'll see if
Let
he
me
can
meters
get a
back.
good use of it. As on the other side, you also see it's going to be Mag with a Shatter.
You see in between the barricades, TWO moves quite quickly. So it didn't take long after winning the fight for
What
Chief
is that
to be
from
back in control.
Space?
Now they're starting to move their barricade up.
Space had fun.
Mag not used to the... Oh!
He's not ready. The
1 second hack.
He gets slapped there.
Still lets the shadow go through.
Another blade so good.
He's going to go for the blade here.
There it
That's
is.
one. That's two. And almost getting 50% of it, 40% of an entire team with one blade is pretty nice.
Yeah,
It's not worth it to hack. I don't know, Genji blade that much anymore, I think.
Game, but in 5v5, just the aggression and fast pace you can play at. And I think it's a great point, right?
Well, being able to do 50% more damage, though. Oh, here it is.
Time. Here's the Bastion ult.
You can't deflect it, yep, because it's his own projectile.
3 spots down here. You see Mag takes a decent amount
So you're
of
saying that again?
It's not projectile.
It is a projectile.
but able to get
No, you can't deflect it because I saw like a beam.
But it is a projectile bar, so.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll see, we'll see.
Disappears. EMP gets thrown in there. Moth is awfully low. Skew goes for that little sleep dart. The Assassin is super low, and Skew's showing us a little bit of that Ana. Very nice.
Skew's having fun right now.
He's able to keep everybody charged up, and you see one of the ticks on the top of the screen as the red team is approaching it. That's going to be a bit of a checkpoint there for push, so that'll give them a little bit of a forward spawn.
Changes
obviously.
the spawn location.
Yeah, it would be kind of crazy if they had to spawn all the
Birdring
way
seal
back, to
on
try
the
to
Genji.
the objective at this point. Also, just to remind people, this is a different version of Zarya. Zarya has the 2 bubbles on a shared cooldown.
The Reaper guy goes in. The sound of the Hellfire shotguns as well, it rattles, right? Especially in that underpass.
Yeah, those sounds are
It's something that
nasty.
Space talked about, right?
Holy shit, it's a soundgasm.
Obviously, you know, the new hero looks for a lot of the different heroes in this build, but then also just the weapon sounds. It's one of the things where I think speaking to some of the players who have had some hands-on, they're like, man, the damage just feels so strong. And I think it's because you know, there's the sounds of the guns and everything just feel so much more like violent, right? It feels really like more real, I think, than kind of like Overwatch.
I noticed the sound playing when one of your teammates is eliminated, like what we hear in knockout elimination or lockout, excuse me. Look at the EMP. Look at the percent health damage on Mag.
He just gets ruined.
By Kevster after with the damage increase.
Yeah, and it just makes some
A lot of damage.
offensive powerhouse, right? You kind of look at players who play Sombra now, really just trying to play more of a team-oriented game. Now it is just way more of kind of almost like playing a little bit of a Tracer version. So the blue team going to get towards this barrier. You can see now they take the lead at the top of the screen. They are in charge.
That yellow line
Ooh,
represents
EMP blade.
sort of furthest progress.
Surely there's some like
So when they sort of
breakpoints
ahead,
with that
I
extra
don't think
40%
EMP blade would be
damage.
that useful.
With that checkpoint now, that changes obviously where the leading team.
40% damage now.
Yeah, this is scary. That's
It's basically just an instant gravitic flux. And it hacks them for a second.
Oh, the Genji there were very clean.
Moth had the
Oh.
rally, but he didn't have it for much longer.
And then also they take more damage as well.
6v6, 3v3, 5v5, whatever you want to play, still so impactful as
I don't know if they updated Genji sounds, but they definitely updated Reaper sounds.
You're gonna have like a Death Blossom plus grab combination.
TWO is pretty much
Zarya sound effects also different with the primary fire.
2 minutes now left. There's the grab. Pretty nice cleanup. Easier for Space to get a ton of charge in.
Space is
now. He can
deleting.
You can hear the B, man, with the nano. It just sounds so filthy. That'll be a team wipe here for the blue team as they are still in the lead.
He's going
going to Lucio.
Further, right, forward their progress.
Ooh,
Make it even
Neko.
harder for the red team
And
to come
Diva
back.
as well.
Some more changes here for the red team, as I'm sure a lot of these players experimented throughout this. As Birdring now over to the
Shotgun's
Reaper.
like,
Mag on the Diva. So I know a lot of players, just even of the tank role in general, were a little bit kind of worried. They think about
Show us Diva.
in solo play, but she's so good as like a duelist, like
Does
1v1,
Diva have any changes?
that she's able to really be
Reaper guy.
pretty strong.
And we definitely already knew that, right? That was something that she showcased, in Overwatch for quite some time. Birdring, I mean, this is a much more familiar pick for him. Nasty stuff as Space there
Monster's
gets
gone.
blown up again. It was mentioned, I think Space said that tanks feel like sort of bigger DPSs. They also fall just as quickly in some cases now.
Well, I think you can also see how like speed and just verticality is going to end up playing. Right?
Nice sleep.
Mag is able to get in a position.
Oh,
make a
beautiful.
Play, but then also use the defense matrix.
Just get the assassination.
Nice sleep
Oh,
there.
he's dead. Oh, he's dead.
That is a nice.
They're hiding behind.
I'm sure he'll want that one for the highlight reel. Is it looks like the blue team actually going to try and wrap through the middle of the map. So
Diva doesn't
that's
look
one
like
thing
there's
with
too
the
much change.
Objective being really like a neutral objective is there's
Your
a
monster
lot of
just
areas
zooming.
in the middle of the
Yeah.
map that you can just you don't have to circumvent to go play for a
It's like, what team? Screw it.
like a
I survive.
control or something like that. There's so many different routes you can take because obviously the robot will take long to get back to the barricade. You can take numerous fights in different areas.
There's a sense where you don't necessarily always want to fight around where TWO is,
you
right?
wouldn't think so.
So
right?
these fights are being taken externally to
good
where
sleep.
the robot is.
So we're also getting very close to overtime. 7 seconds on the left. Overtime will trigger because
Wait,
the
C9?
red team is behind right now.
Right.
The blue team in the lead. They'll have an opportunity as long as they control this to keep moving the robot forward.
Right.
I hear how the Reapers
so
out sounds.
see where Team 2 need to get to win the round. You can't draw this really at all, right? Unless TWO never moves, I guess that is one situation.
It'd
But
be difficult and you
Oh.
jinx us if it did.
EMP for 3. TWO just hanging out, just hanging off the barricade. Death Blossom here by Birdring to try and clear some space. Team 2 are moving for the time being, and they're using that to break line of sight, right? Using TWO and the barricade to avoid the damage, but damn, Team 1 got back awfully quick.
Yeah, the barricade gives you a little bit of a space there to be able to move up, almost a little bit like cover.
Is it?
Position, and
Yep.
it's going to be the blue team wiping the red team off of the robot, not pushing the barricade. And
On the Orisa, the Sigma look.
Okay.
Iris and Master on Baptiste and Brigitte.
Let's see
Master
this.
just
Let's
said
see this
enable
big
free
boss.
tanks. I missed
to,
what. Let me go back and see what that
They
chat
will
said.
not be bargained with. Here comes.
Wait, did they accidentally enable 3 tanks?
No.
they go
I
call.
didn't see the chat.
You're really okay.
Oh,
with
Gator was like play a rush mirror. And then that was a whole thing.
Atlanta, they'll go with double shield with the Torbjorn.
Hi, Pelly.
I get that nice shot. Holy
They
shit.
said, hey, this is probably what they were having the most success with. With that ball.
Well, I think I'm very fine. Let me refresh and see if that helps.
They say that's a good spoiler.
You're on the ropes. Everybody expects you to just kind of come in, roll over. Shanghai ends up winning this. You have a lot to play with here.
They're looking strong.
You can go for plays, try and be a little risky at times because
So-
we're really playing with house money here. So
Let on to the Echo now.
Atlanta moving towards this first checkpoint.
Iris playing from behind the cart.
They're again
There is
playing
Hack
this
briefly, so he will come
incredibly
offline for a
pokey
brief
comp.
moment, and that might have cost him there. Fate's going to come in with a pile driver, and the Shanghai Dragons are able to reassert themselves here. There's more work to be done, but this defense is starting to come back together.
And it's the Echo swap here. The Echo really bothers like the Torb, right? Able to deal with the turret rather easily. Also, Echo just a very difficult target for the Hanzo to hit up in the
That's
sky.
probably gets a
Some
headshot
good
here.
options for like the sticky bombs, right? Being able to get some focusing beam kills. So And we also know how good Fleta is on the Echo, right? MVP last year, primarily for a lot of his sick Echo play.
All of the progress that Rain made that started with that pick from Kai, kind of been erased here. They'll be ahead on some key ultimates here. Ant Matrix is available. They're going to go for the rally first. That's a gravitic flux from Void, though.
Okay.
Nice.
They need a Fails hiding there. Oh, 6-man EMP.
Pelican down. That is brutal.
That was
This
nice.
will be a minefield here from Fate as well, as Atlanta is just trying to back out. You just see how aggressive and fast Shanghai is.
The Atlanta Reign quickly realizing that this could be the end of the line for them if they don't come up with something now.
A rally here.
Oh, they used rally. It was too late.
This is looking bad. Oh no. Void. Oh, let's go. Void kills himself.
He's going to have to duplicate. He gets an Orisa. Unlikely he's going to get out of this one alive. Let's see. Pressure on Master.
Alright, getting some damage in. Could have a supercharge. That's it.
Fleta's going to go now. Flight into the small room. He might be able to get away, and he does.
Oh, really?
And something that Gator talked about in his interview yesterday after their Dallas Fuel match is how they felt that they were able to control the tempo, right? Speed up when they wanted it to, slow it down at moments. It does not seem like they have been able to
Hog
do
is
that with
800 HP.
When Atlanta wants to play fast, Shanghai takes it to another level, plays even faster.
Pelican's onto the McCree now.
Play a little bit slower than neutral game.
Just help out with hooking out Fleta.
Void for sure. Hawk finds the most important target, and it's a fantastic accretion in midair to stop Fate in his tracks. No pile driver now.
Insane Hawk.
Are going to get that first checkpoint.
Now you have Pelican here on the Cowboy. This is not something
Lipsa.
traditionally the Atlanta Reign go to. If you're going to see this from Atlanta, it's typically going to be Kai.
Oh,
you maybe even
nice.
have, like, if
Spy
this is
checking.
the look you want it, right? You even consider Edison, right? Edison, more known for like the
It's pretty good from
long-range scan,
Pelican.
as opposed to somebody like Pelican. Obviously, Kai very good at these heroes, but at least that's what they want to run here. Maybe
Essentially going to use their rally in response to the EMP.
Against the Wrecking Ball. Cowboys flashbang to try and again stop Fate from.
Oh, that was a good.
Bunga, he goes in with the minefield. Lip has to translocate away here. So no EMP follow-up in the immediate aftermath of Fate's minefield.
Void seriously out of position right now.
As the Reign prepare to fight for this position on the high ground.
So, do they have enough to control it?
Lip is 5 health.
One of these EMPs, he's so good with it. That'll be a gravitic flux here.
Letta is 5 health.
Nothing gets cancelled.
Flux gets wasted.
Catches very little from that one. Void gonna have to try and shield himself in the
Fate is also 5 health.
A little bit out of sea. Yeah,
Not enough
slap him around, but
healing.
his Yaki comes from absolutely nowhere. With the equivalent of the Transcendence now to keep Fate standing, but eventually
Where the hell did Fleta go?
Reign will break through.
They do a nice job controlling that high ground. Izzy
Almost
has to
not
get
5 ultimates by
pretty
that arena.
aggressive with that Transcendence like we see him do.
And Shanghai
And they will
are
continue
barely
to
coming
move
up on
the payload.
at least
So
1 or 2.
Atlanta putting
Sure,
together
sure.
a pretty good offense. Shanghai will continue with this composition. No ultimates to work
They
with.
should just be able to
And Atlanta,
snowball it.
big damage coming up, right?
Nice headshot there from.
Matrix.
Nice headshot again.
If you need it. Oh,
It's too
really don't
good.
need it now as Kai's ripping heads.
Ty's feeling himself now, Matthew. Looking a little bit like Lip on King's Row. Pelican falls to the side.
Don't worry, Pelican's playing the Kree here.
Make sure that Lip won't be able to slip away under cover of cloaking in this next checkpoint. It's going to come up here for the Atlanta Reign.
Okay.
They're going to have the last phase of the map. The most treacherous
Fate's
for
gone over
sure,
to the
but a
Orisa now.
decent time bank to work with.
And he's yakin
And,
on
Shanghai
Baptista
will
just
have
trying to
Fate
mirror.
switch
And they're mirroring here.
forward
No,
to
not
Orisa,
mirroring.
So not going to go with the ball here.
They're mirroring the
Not
tank
going
and
with Batiste. You wouldn't really play Zen Brig.
And
onto
support lineup.
Widow.
Now we're going to get a Widowmaker match.
Huh.
This should be fun. Kai against Lip.
Both.
Ooh.
You shoot through barrels, I think.
Lip has noted Kai's position early, but Kai finds Flare. That's a headshot on an Echo. Not hard to do. Not easy, excuse me, to do. Make that clear. Quite the challenge. He knows where Lip is playing from. Lip doesn't want to take the duel right now.
That's a big chunk, though. That's a headshot.
Actually,
Fate.
2 really good Widow plays.
They try and
Oh,
not
Master's
able to do so. Master's going to pop the rally because he gets low.
I mean, this should be a 1-2 dunk now. Okay, Void goes down to the Deadeye. The Gravitic Flux doesn't finish.
Oh,
But Pelicans over there find the
Fleta.
kill. Fleta challenges.
Better
but then
DPS wins.
and finds the enemy Cowboy. Now he'll dodge a lot of the damage coming from Gator, and this is the range
Fleta's just better.
in their tracks. Fleta has a free Deadeye. It's unlikely he's going to get a chance.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to end up using it. This will be from Fleta's POV. Goes around on the flank. Oh, I mean, dodged it. I mean, that is...
Didn't he have flash for the
It's a good look.
for Fleta after?
No, the he wasn't able to be flashed in the transition.
Yeah, right out of transition. He didn't flash him.
When he ascends to the sky, he's going for it now. Oh, there it is. Lip finds him. He gets the headshot kill. I think Hawk was looking for something, maybe trying to be cunning and get out of line of sight, but the Widowmaker brings him down. That is bad. That's a huge loss of momentum for Atlanta. A team who
That's some good kills.
I thought Lip fell off
There's not a
there.
lot they can do at this point of the map in that type of scenario, right? You have to use the flux, you know, in that open space. No way that you're going to be healed through that with the headshots raining down from Lip. As he'll have a walls here. Same with Kai. They'll probably pop them both to match each other, and they do.
Flatter needs to be careful here. Yeah, he's just dumped out.
Oh, nice headshot from Lip.
Nice kill.
Lip.
Okay, trades.
Kai gets Izayaki again.
It's Kai versus Lip. Everything else is just gone.
Oh, Lip.
Lip finds the anti-Widow kill. And he'll
Better Widow wins, I mean.
aggressive position on the high ground. Wants to try and pressure Hawk down, but
Lip.
13 seconds left in the round. Flatter goes
Lip, oh my goodness, what the fuck?
Lip comes alive here on the Widowmaker.
I love seeing this crazy Widows play.
Lip.
They can't even touch.
I mean, the damage dealer combo
They can't touch.
of Lip and
Just insane player.
have just been
Holy shit.
unreal. I mean, Lip
Is that it?
able
Is that
to
it?
put the Widowmaker there.
That GG? Is that GG?
There's really been, you know, nothing he can't do, right? Whether it's, you know, an incredible Sombra play. We've seen him play Tracer early in the year, right? And then switches over to the long-range hit scan, where that's Kai on the other side. That's his specialty. Like, his aim is unreal, and Lip able to win that Widow battle.
Again, he started off playing it a little bit more passively. Didn't look like he was trying to take the duel, but he realized that Kai was starting to find some crucial kills. I mean, getting Flatter immediately is huge. Then he starts to play more aggressive, right? Grappling hooks vertically, looks for Kai, and then he goes as far as to push on out of that little fort to really take the fight into his own hands. The Shanghai Dragons. It's 2 checkpoints and 55.2 meters that stands between them and hoisting the Overwatch League trophy.
That ending stretch is going to be tough, though. Just like that we saw Atlanta get stalled out, that is not an easy stretch of the map to get. Havana, traditionally, that's always been like the toughest area to push on through. We can take a look here from Lip's POV. This shot, just look at how like little of a...
He was looking for a grapple upwards as well. He's thinking a couple of steps ahead there. And that's what really ends it. Kai doesn't have a lot of room to work from there. Like, his sidelines are limited not only by Lip being there, but also the Sigma and Orisa playing so
Gator.
And Atlanta is going to play close here. Look, they want to
Flatter gets Kai.
as much as they can.
Nice.
They want to try and force it. And that's going to be Flatter on the Tracer, instantly getting rid of Kai.
You didn't kill him. Pelican dies, yeah, I think.
By Iris falling fate on the rare Winston here. And see this often at all. And the Shanghai Dragons, they're so hungry for it.
Ooh, Void on the Zaya.
Oh, I mean, Gator, Hawk, and Masa doing everything they can here.
Double bubble.
DJ Gon got the Lucio diff.
And it's a foregone conclusion at the
Okay.
in that fight there.
Being an interesting comp for...
From Fate, with Void on the Zaya, another look from the Dragons.
Well, you can take a look here. Looks like some shots went into Kai before he got to finish him off, but you know, a double bubble look here for Shanghai. Void really kind of got his start, right? Everybody talked about how good of like a Diva and Zarya player he was, right? And then obviously had to play Sigma as time has gone on, but get to see him play the Zarya here should be pretty fun.
Izayaki gets picked off there in the rain. What a brawl. They're happy to go up against his double bubble composition like that. Void, okay, has his personal bubble, but he's just going to get run down. Somehow Fate's still able to find a trade killer. It's going to be a sound barrier here for the Dragons. They want to go for it. Fate's still alive. He does go down eventually, but Gator doesn't get much value out of the Earth Shatter. It's only Lee J got knocked to the ground. Flatter's still
Surely
alive.
Shanghai get the damage in.
Of the Atlanta Rain, and then the immortality
Yeah, definitely.
Way too little. It's way too late.
And you just
There it is.
here for Shanghai. Your team
Let's
just
just
has
say.
the respawn advantage. Very fast players.
Yeah, how's Flatter out of the roster?
Probably would have loved to live a little longer, right? He would have got the
Because Lip
rage
did
out
better.
of that, even after
For more value.
you're able to win that fight.
And
you don't even have the grab dragon yet, right? You know,
I'd say
that's a big ultimate
I'd say
combo
little
decided here.
Flatter.
This will be fate
It's not really as much of a standout as he's just perfect in his timing. He's not like flashy in the sense that he makes plays. He just does what the team needs and he pops off like that. At least that's my initial understanding of it.
Fate finally brings him down, and the Dragons are a little scattered right now. They're going to have to regroup.
Yeah, they have to back out. This is one
Yeah, Lip
where,
goes to Sombra.
they have to back out. Shanghai
No,
will
back to
come
Hansa.
back. They'll have a grab.
Yep, Hansa it is.
Pulse bomb combination. Atlanta
Pelican
making a
goes
motion.
to
Beacon was
the
on
Tracer.
Torb, now goes back to Tracer. So a Tracer to match.
Come on,
Fled-
Hawk, eat the
and then
grab, I
also
dare you.
Kai on the McCree. Try and battle here in the mid range.
Oh, I like it.
Or,
A potential pulse bomb or the grab. That would be huge.
ooh, they get the
Maybe
kill.
feigning that he's going to pulse bomb there. He holds onto it for the time being. Fate's
Nice
down,
kill.
but so is Gator. It's a trade of main tanks now, and again, the DPS get to run rampant in these backlines. Void, he sneaks in and gets rid of Iris here, and this is the Atlanta Reign.
Why might do it? Okay.
Void is
Lip
really
is
hitting
popping
hard,
off.
and the Dragons in general are hitting different.
He is charged up.
That's
as
good.
Neju
I might
doesn't
like do
feel
like a
the need
2%
to end up using that
2% grab. Yeah.
Fleta still has that
Looking
pulse.
for
Take a look here from his
Grav
side. I was
pulse
wondering
bomb,
what
maybe?
angle did he even get this off at? I mean,
Guessing
there's
they're
a
saving for
Reinhardt
that.
shield in the mix there. I mean, that is
Pelican onto Reaper now.
pixels, yeah.
Just want to brawl down.
Sure.
Anti-dive against
Sitting on
the
that Graviton surge, still
Winston as well.
You can wait for the dragon, right? There's not really a
Oh, he
rush
knows where.
for Shanghai.
You can punish grouping on the high ground here to a degree. And Libs noted the position of the Reaper. Okay, Atlanta
Let's get some MSA.
Here, but they've lost Master. Now
Oh, okay, there's the grab.
Graviton Surge is used
Solo
just to
diva.
secure the kill on Hawk. It's pretty conservative play, but it still yields a crucial kill.
Alright.
The Diva's out of the mix. Fleta may have fallen, but Void is filling the gap as a DPS right now.
I mean, he is just mowing players
Of
down.
what just
Oh my
left
God, Void is-
Pelican.
Zarya, once you even get a little bit of charge. I also got a feel for Gator. It's got to be so difficult to play Reinhardt into this. You know, I saw Fraggy on Twitter, you know, or Reinhardt really kind of embodies Reinhardt, right? He was like, man, this looks tough to play the Rein into. I got to agree, especially with how fast.
Wasn't Fraggy on a shock?
It's got to be brutal.
2 minutes and
Fraggy on the shock? No.
No, like before, like sleepy era.
I don't think so. Unless I'm misremembering. Fraggy season 1, wasn't he on Philadelphia?
Yeah, seems like it. Yeah, he was.
Void is charged up and nano boosted. He'll even have a Graviton Surge if he needs it. Pelican's forced away, but some sharp shooting from Kai is going to lay the Zarya low for now. Fleta just trying to dodge away from Kai.
Yes, he was on the Philadelphia Fusion, not the San Francisco Shock.
Yeah.
Season 2, he went to Guangzhou. So him and Bishu.
And you notice from Shanghai, they rarely fully back out of these fights, right? Always figuring out a way to kind of like half back out, weather the storm a little bit. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, Kai hits a headshot on a Void. That's great. Here comes Fate right over the top. I mean, there is not a second to relax here for the Atlanta Reign. And the box of victory right within Shanghai's vision here. And they got a lot to get there.
They can force out sound barrier, that'll be huge.
Pulse bomb, you know, primal rage here on the bridge. A lot to be able to end this.
Pressure is mounting now for the Reign. 2.5 minutes. They need to hold out for.
Here goes the grab. Master actually saved.
It is kind of dead.
Oh, grab gets nothing.
It is not dead. What?
And they can save their ults.
So they hold on. The grab there was used as well, so they didn't get anything with it. Now, if you're Atlanta, you have some ultimates to work with. Fate will now go over to the Rhine. So you're going to get a Rhine Zarya where Lip goes away from Sombra and will play the Reaper. So good old classic Rhine Zarya potentially.
Fate gets
okay.
Oh.
He wants it. Shatter comes in, it's going to knock Void and Fleta to the ground, but
Gator gets Fleta.
not picking himself up at all. Gator finds a huge charge in the Atlanta Reign now. Grim determination paints their faces. You can see the red box of victory, but they're holding back the red tide.
No.
The game that Atlanta would want. They want Shanghai to end up.
That's actually good for Shanghai, because now
kind of working, right?
Kai will have the worst spawn.
What a charge! What a pin from Fate! The shadow to follow up. It's gonna
oh! That's it. GG.
And they're so close. A minute 15.
GG.
GG.
The Dragons teach us that if we want to climb high, we must do it against the wind. The Shanghai Dragons are your 2021.
Bit of a toned down celebration there.
Yeah, like shock last year, like they're like hugging each other and shit.
To be fair, it was a close grand final, so that makes sense.
They were dominant all throughout.
This was just utter domination, though.
Yeah, they didn't stand a chance.
In this spot,
Holy
in this
shit.
position with how they played last year, how they expected to play this year, and they get it done.
Is that who are you?
In the few years that we've had,
Well, who are you is definitely there somewhere.
the absolute worst franchise at the start.
Challenge
No
spot, who are you?
questions asked, right? 0-40. They are able to rebuild and build back the strongest. You know, they are phenomenal last year. They're champions this year. It's a huge accomplishment for the players in the org.
What a legacy to build. Coach Moon,
Oh.
Spends his time at the LA
Void lifting Molly up.
Heads over towards Shanghai. He knows
Very cute, very cute. Oh my!
Right,
No, look at that!
on this franchise's history, there needs to be a
Look at that
race
massive
to
lad.
overcome. What an unbelievable swing. Again, they already managed to get back to 500 as a franchise and now an Overwatch League championship. And Matt, I'll be honest with you, they were the better team on every single map.
They were. And I think one of the things that really is the most impressive about Shanghai is, these players were phenomenal last year. And they seem this year to just take it to another level. To where, you were looking at...
I've said it's like just another day for me.
Yeah.
Right? He comes in this year, plays just as good, if not better. You looked at Lip last year. He was a very good player, right? He puts himself into like the MVP conversation.
Lip's the Grand Finals MVP.
A lot of people were kind of questioning, like, is this going to be an upgrade? Is it going to be a downgrade, side grade? And he plays some of the best Overwatch we've ever seen him play.
Is that who are you next to the person in black shirt?
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, that is.
This team.
That is who are you? Let's go! I win the challenge.
But these players continue to get better, and you just have to wonder, can they even get better than what we currently saw today?
Alright, Atlanta Range has gone on their phones tweeting.
Yeah, let's see on Twitter. Let's see Gator tweet.
Overwatch 1, and the Dragons are going to be sticking around. This is not a franchise.
Molly and who are you? Are Overwatch League champions. Let's go.
Who are you is the only player who has won Apex Contenders and OWL.
Really stuck through this organization from the very beginning, even in the Blizzard Arena. There was every time.
Let's go. Who are you?
There was so much hope that they'd sort of find that first win, packed with fans, repping with the black
crying when they won their first game.
Absolutely. I was like, what? And this team exemplifies the grit and determination of a team that wants to make it through, unlike any other. The Atlanta
Chipsa, this game looks like my unranked GM games.
Really difficult year, and they've overcome some really tough situations.
They've had an amazing year, though. I think if you would have told the Atlanta Reign players and
NYXL is the last team to have beaten the Dragons in Overwatch League.
They would have been really pleased with that. Obviously, the players.
A Joe Next Supremacy.
With this result, but to be able to battle back through losers.
If only Armog was here to hear that.
Making it to Hawaii to one of our tournaments. A really good year, and these are young players, right? These are players that are gonna move into next year and evolve, take this experience and really run with it.
I mean, crazy. When we start the season, we expect
it really feels like Shanghai have been like the protagonist of the entire Overwatch 1 Overwatch League. Like 0-40. Yeah, 0 to hero. Just gone up all the way, and as soon as they hit the Grand Champions for Season 4, the whole thing starts again with Overwatch 2.
Yeah, I want to go to sleep here because that's it. I think. Yeah, I'll go to sleep here because I slept at 4 this morning. That was good, though.
Yeah,
like Shine just dominated.
Grand Finals MVP.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for any potential viewers. Armrock, if you see this, you're missing out. Next time sleep early, please, Armrock. Okay, see you.
Bye.